Hello, everyone. What's going on? My name is Timpedia. Welcome back to the TNT podcast. Sorry for missing last week. My house's internet just randomly went out, and by
Yeah,
randomly, I mean a branch fell down and took out a cable. So, whoops. um, but we are here. We're here to do our thing that we do. And on my right,
it's Friedman, also known as Andrew, mostly known as Friedman.
and on my left,
Only Tyler, just Tyler, the Tyler, something.
the
something.
Tyler.
The Tyler.
Hey, look,
The
it's
one
the
and only.
Tyler. Look at me, I'm the
The
Tyler.
one and only. I am the one and,
One and
only.
only.
God fucking.
Yeah, when's our karaoke stream happening? No, moving on.
Yo, I thought
Right,
about like when we do the Leslie's bachelorette party, we need to get like a karaoke machine. I gotta figure
That can
that out.
happen. I made a bootleg setup during COVID with just like a laptop, a microphone, and surprisingly just YouTube.
I mean, that's pretty all you need. That's pretty all you need. Words.
Pretty
simple.
all you
Honestly,
need.
with most Spotify songs having vocals on them, there's a lot of ways you just make your own karaoke machines these days.
Speaking of pretty all you need,
Right.
Magic the Gathering.
This in a while.
We've gone out of our way to not talk about Magic for quite a hot minute, but there's a bunch of news right now, and it's worth just quickly talking about.
And the first time I got put in here, just because Tyler, I wanted to get your take on this as someone who has played card games before. So, for the longest time, Magic had this thing called the core set, which was just like the basic level cards you need to make like a functioning deck. And the idea was every year they print a new core set, and a lot of these cards were like the same base, what you needed to get playing Magic.
I want to slightly change the way you're describing this, Freeman, just because. So in games like Hearthstone is a good example. Hearthstone has a set of cards that do not rotate. They are just basic starter cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Magic had around 2010 for a couple years after that, and then from like 2019 to like 2020 or somewhere up to 2020, Magic had a core set. It was not the same cards every year, and there were in fact some new cards in these core sets.
Yeah,
some cards were roughly the same, but it was supposed to be stabilizing reprints, not an exciting story. There was no plot line to it. It was just, here's a bunch of cards from all over the multiverse that we're just throwing in that are not going to rock the boat. Some of them are kind of cool, but really we're not trying to radically change the game. We're just trying to set in some base level cards.
The concept, like the name core, being that like this is just like the fundamental Magic cards, the place where we think beginners can like get their first deck, learn how to play. And unfortunately, for the longest time, core sets undersold because people either already had what they needed. It was aimed at people who typically didn't spend a lot of money on Magic.
Yeah, and franchise players really didn't care about them, and they weren't exactly like
exciting.
They weren't like exciting, and they're like, because there's no unifying theme, which we'll get to on the next set that we're going to talk about after this. So it really didn't super appeal to anybody. So Magic has literally started the game with them, then lost them, then got them again, then lost them again, then got them again around 2020, and now does not have a core set again, and has not for a couple of years. Then Magic announces, was it this past weekend, Freeman, or the one before when the Pro Tour was? I forget.
It was before we were supposed to record this, because I had this on the original show
Okay,
notes.
so it was 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
They had a Pro Tour, which is big pro event, tournament results, Modern Horizons 3 going crazy, of course. But they announced a new product called Magic the Gathering Foundations, which is a draftable booster set that is not part of the standard release window of 4 standard legal sets in a year, but is standard legal and is actually standard legal for the next 5 years instead of 3 years, which is now current standard rotation maximum for a set. At most, a set will stay in standard for 3 years is the current cycle. This new product will stay in standard for 5 years.
Wow.
Oh, I forgot they did the 3-year rotation. I thought it was still 2.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, point is that this is a long-lived set, and it's raising a lot of strange questions because we always talk about how Hasbro is on this big money-grabbing kick and they're going to be on it forever because that's how capitalism works. But the idea is that every set since like maybe 5 years ago has been all in on like rare special copies, alternate art, special foil treatments, all these gimmicks,
Which we'll
serialized
get
cards.
to again.
Like things to get you to buy these limited print boxes. Because the other thing that no one really thinks about with Magic is Wizards doesn't continuously print these boxes. I think it was right after Theros block, because I remember hearing everyone screaming about it, that it was like Tarkir went out of, or not Tarkir, like the third set in that block, it went out of print 2 months after it released. And that set was going to stay in standard for a year and a half after it released. So for the next, oh my god, why am I drawing a blank on how long a year and a half is? 18 months. If you wanted those cards, Wizards was not making any newer ones. And especially so with the core sets. They usually did one giant print run because they're like, no one's going to buy this thing. It's just, to get these cards out here. But if they print this box and it's got to be available for 5 years, Wizards either needs to be constantly reprinting a set that's designed to not sell that well, which feels like a bad financial decision, or they're not going to print this a lot, and some of these are going to become scarce, which defeats the purpose of the set. So they put themselves in a weird spot, and I don't know how they're going to handle it.
Or you've left out the third option, which is most of the cards are not very good, in which case, what's the fucking point? Because they're either not going to do anything, or you're going to end up in a position where the meta demands one of these not very good cards to fill a gap that they just missed somewhere else, and then it spikes anyway.
Yeah. It's weird, because it's like they're not doing this for monetization, so they're doing it for card availability. But we'll find out when it releases what the deal is with it. But my personal theory is they are going to, like, even though it's available for 5 years, like 2 or 3 years in, they're going to do a refresh where it's the same cards, but we're going to get like different art or different like foil treatment, so there's a reason to purchase it again. But from like a standard player's perspective, like I like this. It means that there's way less chaos during a rotation, because you can at least probably find a card that fits a niche if you need it, that's sitting around. Like, you're not going to lose your 1-mana dork.
So also, just to explain the way rotation works real quick. So every year with the release of, I think it's going to be Bloomborough, right, Freeman? So it's the fall. It's
whatever the fall set is, right?
Yeah, the fall quote unquote set at the beginning of August. Whatever. God, it's scary to think.
Oh my god, it's releasing in August?
Yeah, it's releasing in a month. Spoilers started today. That's why it's on here. Anyway, rotation happens when the third standard legal set of a year comes out, and it used to be the 2 years ago. Now it's the sets from 3 to 2 years ago will finally rotate out of standard. So a lot of cards are about to go away that have been in standard for, frankly, a shockingly long time. Like Kamigawa is about to go.
Kamigawa's still in standard? Holy shit.
New Capenna is still in standard. So like all this stuff that's been around for years and been defining standard to some extent is going to go away. So it's a whole bold new world. And like Freeman said, it had been 2 years. But then last year, just around this time, they announced, actually, we're going to give everything 1 more year because standard players get all spooked about their cards rotating out of the format and not being playable anymore.
Ooh, spooky.
Which I kind of find bullshit in today's day and age, because I understand people who invest in paper cards like don't want the value to go away, but like the people who are playing standard are either grinding on Arena and either just grinding or get bored and stop playing, or they grind enough to have enough mythic cards to like play effectively kind of for free, or they're like so invested they'll spend a little money. But like some of these cards have been around. I can't imagine playing standard and being like, oh my god, Fable the Mirror Breaker. Freeman, Fable the Mirror Breaker would still be playable if it wasn't banned. Like, that's how far out we've had these cards. It's crazy.
So weird.
The Wandering Emperor has been a playable 4-drop flash threat in standard for 3 years now.
It feels weird to say like a card's been in standard longer than your son's been alive.
God, stop! Oh god. Anyway, so this is cool because it's a new product, and it is kind of going into that Hearthstone like locked in cards forever mode. But there's definitely going to be some, as other podcasts talk about, or like people who talk about Wizards. Wizards change their mind and changes their own rules like every 6 months on whatever they do. So who knows what this is even going to look like in 2 years if they are like, oh shit, we didn't think about reprints or something like that. Speaking of reprints, I mean, heck, Freeman, we talked about it off the podcast, but like prices of some cards in Modern. Tyler, you remember when the Lord of the Rings set came out? We talked about the One Ring.
Yes. You guys want to shut the fuck up about it?
Yeah, the $2
there's
million
a reason.
card and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But
We're not talking about that printing.
No, we're
We're
not
talking
talking about that
the
printing.
normal
The
base,
card
not foil,
itself,
no special art printing.
the card itself, you physically cannot buy a copy of that Magic card for less than $110.
Yeah.
And it is a staple in any format it's legal in. It is insane. But the problem is, unlike a card that is a Magic card, like a fetch land or something, this is a card that's tied to an IP. So is Wizards... We still don't know. Is Wizards allowed to reprint it, just not tied to Lord of the Rings with like a different name or something like that? We don't know yet. But it's there's no sign of it leaving anywhere. So the price is only going up because they're not printing Lord of the Rings cards anymore. Which seems like a terrible idea because it still sells great, I have to imagine. Like, that set was a banger. Speaking of a banger, I already talked about this, but the new set Bloomborough had its trailer come out and a little video previewing the set today. This set looks fantastic, and the hype for this set is through the roof. It's a plain... Tyler, do you know what Redwall is? I'm assuming yes?
Nope.
How did no one... I feel like in the Magic comments, all I see is about this. So apparently it's like a book series that involves everyone as animals. And this...
listen to what you just said.
Tyler, I get that, but it's a fantasy series. I thought you might have at least heard of it.
Is that some shit I would know about?
Bro, have you ever watched The Lion King?
Oh my god. This set is everyone is an animal, but...
Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. I've seen these on shelves on many libraries I've been to.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, this is some old shit. Brian Jacks, man. Yeah, I know the writer, but yeah, I haven't read any.
That's
of
fine.
his stuff.
All I know is I keep seeing those comments on Magic threads about this set, but this set looks fantastic. They started spoiling cards and art today. The mechanics look neat. This set's going to be huge in Commander. This set's going to sell. This is going to be the best-selling standard set of the year, Freeman. Like, it's not even a question. Modern Horizons 3 will probably beat it because Modern Horizons is Modern Horizons. But Bloomborough looks absolutely fantastic. The art is gorgeous. There's a lot of very pretty animals. Leslie was freaking out about it.
So originally I was in the camp of what's with this art, like when the first couple images got spoiled, but now that I'm looking at the cards themselves, most of the ones that like are of the style that everyone's complaining about, those are alternate arts, and the main art looks distinctly like a Magic card.
Yes,
so
it does.
Most of my concerns have been alleviated with today's spoilers.
Yeah, so I think it looks fantastic.
Except this Liliana of the Dark Realms art. This is some furry shit. Let's get out of here.
Oh, yeah, Tyler, one of the things they're doing to probably appeal to furries is some existing Magic characters are being shown as if they came to this plane and turned into animals.
And you want me to fucking get into this fucking game?
Who said...
Not this set.
No, I want you to get in this set because the gameplay looks really good. The gameplay looks really solid. So you know what?
Freeman,
I
never gave...
Let me put it this way, Freeman. I already have a card for Vance in this set. And they've only spoiled like 15 cards, and I finally have a new card for my Vance deck.
After we're done, I gotta look through the spoilers. I have not been on Reddit all day.
But the other reason I wanted to bring up Bloomborough is that part of the announcement today came with... So, I don't remember if we even talked about this on the podcast. So, Tyler, originally when Magic started, there was one booster pack you could buy. You could buy a booster pack, right? Like most card games, you could buy a booster pack of cards. Then, eventually, Wizards went, hey, how do we make more money? We start selling all these fancy arts in a different kind of set, or a different kind of booster called collector boosters, which is not designed for drafting and playing. They're designed for having just fancy versions of cards. Everything is either a foil or an alternate art or something, but they're a lot more money. Then they design set boosters, which is also not for draft, but is more like a regular booster. But also has unique cards that aren't in the collector boosters. Then Wizards goes, guys, this is like a year ago. They're like, guys, we have too many boosters. This is silly. We're going to cut it down to 2 boosters. We're going to get rid of draft boosters and set boosters and merge them into a product called play boosters, which is basically just draft boosters with like 1 extra card. Okay? So that's where we ended last year. Now, Wizards goes, guys, we're going to do a new booster. We're going to do a budget booster, which is a 7-card booster, which has no guaranteed rare slot. It can just be commons and uncommons. And they didn't announce a price, but I'm guessing this pack has to be maybe $2 at the most.
They're straight up just printing junk cardboard.
Because people in checkout lines will buy it.
In their defense, I was at Walgreens yesterday and I saw a booster pack was $5.50 for a regular play booster.
And you went, if I was going to buy something, I'd buy a collector booster.
I looked at them like $5.50 is too much for a normal pack. I'm out of here. But I would not pay money for a pack that doesn't have a rare in it. That's actually insane. That's throwing away money.
It can have a rare. That's the thing. It can. It's just no guaranteed rare slot.
I'm not that much of a gambler.
I'm not saying you are, but I'm just saying like that. I get it. This is goofy to go back to a 3-pack system. Whatever. It's just funny.
There's clearly some market they're trying to capture here.
Yes, they are trying everything to capture more money because Hasbro is bleeding still.
Yeah, they're not.
And Wizards
doing
is the only thing making money because I'm sure next earnings call, oh my God, Modern Horizons 3 is the greatest selling set, and Bloomburrow is the fastest selling standard legal set in the history of forever. And oh my God, Wizards is the only part of Hasbro that made any fucking money. Also, every other division has lost money. So, anyway, we can stop talking about Magic, but I just wanted to bring up some updates. But Bloomburrow looks cool. Modern Horizons 3 seems like it's an awesome set to play. I gotta buy some cards if I ever have money again. But yeah, it's Magic's in an interesting place. I wish I could play more. Magic. Oh my God. Speaking of oh my God. Like why? Like oh my God, why, Tyler?
Oh, I didn't even say what I wanted to say.
Oh, you had something you wanted to say about Magic? Go for it. Sorry.
Yeah, Freeman asked me a question. I'm like, I'm just gonna let him go off.
Sorry.
No, it's cool. I understand. You know, the fucking Magic is life. I get it. You know, I get Magic is life. You know.
Oh.
Magic. It might as well be the Magic podcast. You know. Magic. Fucking loser.
We're gonna go back to Overwatch and Magic, the good old days of the TNT podcast.
I'm for Overdank.
Good old Overdank.
Before we do the next topic, Tyler, go ahead. But then I actually do want to talk about Overdank.
Oh no, it's pretty much. I was just gonna say, it sounds like a weird take from like MTG, only because like most card games, they go on like a rotating, like this is meta. For them to guarantee that these cards will be on rotation is wild.
Mm-hmm.
For 5 years is crazy to me. And I want to see. I am interested, genuinely, in seeing how they pull this off.
Yeah, we saw. Very interestingly, they spoiled what, Freeman, 3 cards that were in the set
for
Foundations.
Oh, I didn't see them.
So
were they boring or were they exciting?
So here's the thing that's moderately exciting. So, I'm trying to think of how to explain this. So, Tyler, you know how Magic is a game that has the mana system, which is supposed to determine how you how you can play the game. I know that sounds very silly, but like it's tied to gameplay. What I'm trying to think. Mana is like the foundational part of the game. Is the best way I could put it.
Yeah.
Back when Magic started, there were 1-drop creatures that could generate mana dorks. Eventually, Wizards phased them out because they said, hey, having the ability to go from 1 mana to 3 mana on turn 2 is something that the game is too strong in this game. We shouldn't do this. Then, in core set, actually back in the last time they did core sets, 2020, they brought back Llanowar Elves, which is one of the most iconic, back in Dominaria, Friedman, like 5 or 6 years ago. They brought back Llanowar Elves, which is a 1-drop mana dork. It was the only one, but the whole time it was in Standard, green was a very powerful color. Because it had the 1-drop that you could turn into a 3-drop. Like, turn 2, you have a 3-drop. That's very strong. And that was the time of, like, the Freeman, remember the troll that was like 3 green, or Eldraine like Yorvo or whatever?
Yeah.
There's
I
the
remember that
troll
standard.
that dies and turns into a land that makes a token, and that was on 3. So like you could do 1 to 3 very effectively. But then they stopped again because they were like, nope, back to being too strong. In the foundations, out of 5 cards they spoiled, 2 of them are new. Freeman, one of them is an Anthem at 2 mana.
I'm looking at them right now. I'm very excited to see an Anthem just stuck in standard now.
Day of Judgment, which is a 4-drop board wipe,
Right.
which is just which has kind of been power crept the idea of, but it's a good staple to have.
For standard, they went up to 5 for the longest time because they were like 4 is too strong for standard.
Well, now
so
we're going
seeing
back
this
down.
stack is cool.
Then Omniscience, which is one of the spiciest enchantments in the game, which is more of like a combo card really than anything else these days. And Llanowar Elves, a 1-drop mana dork, is going to be in standard for the next 5 years, which is something that after Dominaria they basically said, we're not doing this anymore. We have relearned our lesson. Our experiment didn't go great. But now they seem to think, sure, we're going to go right back to it, I guess. So it's going to be spicy to see what having a 1-drop. But green has been hilariously weak in standard, Freeman, recently.
Yeah, I mean, also we're in a different era where Wizards is just like cool doing a ban list update every 2 months. So.
Well, not in standard. In standard they announced that they were only going to do them once a year. Remember?
Wait, what?
They said that there is going to be an emergency ban window after every set comes out, but other than that, standard will only receive bannings once a year, right before rotation.
Oh, that's what they've always been doing. An emergency ban is the same as a regular ban.
Look, Freeman, I don't control what stupid shit they make their own dumb rules that make no sense for market research purposes or some stupid shit. I don't know.
Stupid shit.
They don't want people to expect bannings. They want it to be like, no, there's only in case of emergency, ignoring the fact that every ban up until now has been in case of emergency. Whatever.
Anyway, now we can stop talking about Magic.
Yeah. So real quick, loosely on the topic of Hasbro, also on the topic of Overwatch, they announced their new collab, and they put out this anime trailer for it, but they're collabing with Transformers. And I don't play Overwatch anymore, but the trailer they put out was really cool. Like, we got Optimus Prime Reinhardt in the game, apparently.
Jesus.
So, if you're really into playing Fortnite but in a different format, go ahead. Overwatch is doing it.
Fortnite in a different format. I hate it.
Yeah, everyone's just becoming these IP vehicles. It's kind of annoying.
Yes.
All right, yeah, that was all I had to talk about with Overwatch.
Like fucking Magic.
Actually.
They're One Rings and they're Assassin Creeds and this other nonsense.
Look, we're not getting into all the universes beyond shit about how that's, to some people, losing Magic, to some people the only thing keeping Magic alive. We're not doing it.
But it's relevant to the next topic because it's hard to be creative, but it's really easy to latch onto an IP that people already know about.
Oh my fucking god.
As we talk about the Gladiator 2 trailer.
And how men can't go more than 2 weeks without talking or thinking about the Roman Empire. So.
Dude.
Damn
it.
It's weird because anytime this comes up, I think about how the only time I think about the Roman Empire is someone reminds me that I'm supposed to be thinking about it.
Yeah, just like Gladiator fucking 2.
So we watched the trailer for Gladiator 2 just before this because the trailer just came out, and boy oh boy, it's Gladiator without having any redeeming qualities of the Emperor whatsoever.
That was a trailer? I thought it was a recap film.
Dude, Dude,
because I already know the whole plot from watching the trailer. Order.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. You know exactly what's gonna happen. Honestly, so Leslie and I were talking about this actually, because she watched it and she's like, whatever. And I'm like, you know what? Let's see. Maybe we'll see. And I watched the trailer and I immediately texted her. I was like, I'm not seeing this in theater. Fuck this. Because I was like, maybe we should. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm all right.
Yeah.
So I think we need to go back to the era where I don't want to hear any of the dialogue from the movie because it ruins the movie. What I want to hear is Don LaFontaine describing a world where this shit is occurring.
In a world
where one man is the gladiator.
And you know what? I'm okay with that because you know what? I didn't get spoiled shit, dude. Like, they're super cheesy and like they're kind of played out, but like honestly, they're better trailers than nowadays.
Yeah, honestly,
Are
listening
they?
to
That was
was
a
it honest,
really
honest?
unnecessarily long trailer.
No,
How
I'm
long was
talking
it? How
about
long
the
was it?
old trailers.
Oh,
The old
sorry. I
trailers.
thought you said
As
new
in,
one.
like, that's all it was. It was a trailer. It told you what the movie was about.
It told you who was in it.
Yeah, it told you who was in it, and it didn't, like, overstay its welcome or give too much. That's it. Super schlocky, like, the voiceovers were schlocky, but, like, at least I didn't watch the whole movie in the trailer.
Yeah.
Also, it doesn't help that this movie also emphasizes that it's basically the same fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's getting Star Wars, like, Force Awakens treatment here.
Yeah, seems like
and
it.
I hate that.
Yep.
But the thing about the Star Wars Force Awakens trailers, it didn't try to trick you into thinking this is just Episode 4 again. This is just very much this is Gladiator.
Well, no, it's totally different because he's fighting Pedro Pascal, who's a Roman general who's still working for the Emperor.
Look, this guy looks like Commodus.
Look, the Emperor is crazy. He's like, he's a clown man. Is the Joker Emperor?
Yeah, like there were too many things that were on the nose, and I already like a trailer has not set me on such a negative path like this in a while. Yeah, I'm good.
I feel like they're all like this though. Like I don't like. When's the last time you watched a trailer and you're like, "Holy shit, I'm so excited," as opposed to being like, "All right." Like the last time I saw trailers that made me interested, one was Fly Me to the Moon, just because I like the concept of space. But I forget what the actual name of the movie is. But like Emma Stone is in it, and there's like this whole entourage cast. I know nothing about the plot, only that there's a huge cast. And the trailer, all it did was no, not that one, because I saw that in theaters. It's one that's coming out.
Oh, the most recent one. Oh yeah, true.
I forget what the name of this movie is. I'm looking up real quick. But
Emma Stone?
Yeah. It's not. Hold on. What is this?
Oh, was it the one where they're all look up?
No, it's a new movie.
No, it hasn't. I don't think it's come out yet.
Not Don't Look Up.
Oh my god, why the fuck is her filmography not? Why is her filmography not on her Wikipedia page?
Yeah.
Kinds of Kindness?
Kinds of Kindness, yes.
The one we saw the trailer for? Yeah, I went to IMDb, not Wikipedia.
Okay, yeah. So there's nothing about this movie in the trailer. It's just music, shots, and the actors in costume. And that's all it is. I know nothing about it other than the people are driving, people look like they're smoking. I'm intrigued because I don't know enough to say I probably won't like this movie. And I wish more trailers were like that, where it makes you go, wait, what is this movie about? Because this did not do that.
No. This was, hey, look, there's a guy and there's a war and we can piece it all together from here. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
it shows too much.
Unless it's the weekend, but
Unless it's the weekend.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good on watching this shit.
You want to dip into one of the mini topics this week because there was like almost no news to talk about?
Nah, we gotta move only because there was so much stuff that we watched and played.
I mean, I can bang through all these.
Let's do the second one because the second one is short. I'll set a timer.
Okay.
Listeners, you get 8 minutes of a topic for the first time in years.
500 years.
500.
Asymmetric multiplayer horror games. Why are they popular? What is the fucking deal? This topic spawned from Killer Clowns of Outer Space coming out like what, a month ago? Month and a half ago? I forget. But like, I was curious. I was like, why the fuck? What is up with these horror games that are asymmetric? It started with Evolve, it flopped, and then like years later, it's like we're gonna have which one was the first one? Like 5 Days to Die or some shit. One of them.
I don't fucking remember.
Where was Dead by Daylight in this timeline?
Oh no, that was the first one. Yeah, Dead by Daylight. Then you had 5 Days,
okay.
7 Days to Die. Then you got Friday the 13th, right? Then you got some other bullshit, and then you got Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Like, it's just been cascading ever since, and they're all like relatively popular, apparently. I don't know. I kind of wish I played them a few times just to try to understand the hype, but they all seem the same. Like I kind of wish Luigi was on here because he played Dead by Daylight a lot, but
I'm,
like it's
I'm,
weird.
I'm about to oversimplify this, but Tyler, when you were a kid,
Go for it.
did you like to play tag?
No.
There you go. People who like to play tag and more importantly like to be it like these games
Like to be it.
because
Yo, I never thought of that actually.
that's all this is. It's just
Legitimately.
it's just a video game tag. But
Oh,
like
Oh, you're
when
making
this started blowing up,
making
all I
Henry
could
saying tag.
your son's gonna like these games. But
Tag.
right.
all I could think of was like back in the day. So I was that loser kid who got the PS3 late. My brother had a 360. Was always playing with his friends with like on mic in the middle of our living room. And there was this one. I guess it was like a custom map on was a Halo 3 Forge called Michael Myers, where just one of you is trying to kill everyone else, but you have to move really slow. And my brother and friends were obsessed with this. And the second I started seeing what like Dead by Daylight actually is and these other games, I'm like, oh, this feels a lot like that game mode. And I realized there's been demand for this for a while. It's just kind of the fad that blew up.
Dude, it's a weird fucking thing, honestly.
I
Oh,
mean,
it's just so weird. It's a game type I never imagined would be a thing. But now that you say that, that was honestly probably the high level concept, and I think that actually gives it a lot more of an interesting take to me, like video game tag.
like it's at its core, most of these games have some kind of real life parallel, and there's people who are drawn to these activities who they may end up liking the game because of that. Like I know
Right.
back in the day, like the Pokemon team is like, oh, anyone who likes collecting bugs is gonna like playing Pokemon. And while I certainly didn't enjoy collecting bugs, I understand that that's like the parallel. Someone with a collector mindset will like playing a game like that.
Right.
So that we just got to
Paired with
find these
that
tag
fucking
kids.
catchphrase
Yeah,
was chef's kiss in the marketing department.
for real.
Fucking got us fucking good. I'll tell you what, got
Uh,
us for at least like 20 years of our lives.
Yeah, but it's not always guaranteed because then like I remember back in the day where everyone's like, oh, you play a shooter game, you must want to be a school shooter then. And it's like, no, that's not really how it works.
It's not
But
how it works.
how many people do you know who are gun owners who don't play first person shooters?
I know a lot. Actually, it's interesting. I know a lot more gun owners that don't play video games at all. Funny enough.
Now that I think about it, the few people besides you, the few people I know who are like avid gun owners generally don't play that many games either.
Yeah, like now that I think about it, I never thought about this. Like, I think me and like my close group of friends that own guns are the only ones I know who play games, and everyone else that I know who has guns, and it's a lot of people, they actually don't play video games at all.
I wonder if it's a situation where because it's not something you do in real life, you enjoy it in the video game. Like if you have guns and you go to a range, you're less inclined to like play shooter games to satisfy the itch. Whereas if you can't play tag in real life, for whatever reason, you really love playing these asymmetric horror games.
That's
This is weirdly psychological.
possible, maybe, because I like both, but I also just like video games.
Yeah.
I feel like like if I think this would be an interesting topic, not just like focusing in guns in general, but like the whole like um
Gamer
is some
psychology.
yeah, like the whole like oh like because you do it in real life, would you do this in a video game type thing? Like I think that's also kind of interesting.
You know what? There might be some credibility to this because back in the day, I used to be the person who had to power wash my parents' house, and just because it's relevant, the power washers came today, and all I
Uh-huh.
could think of is how I used to enjoy that, and how I also bought Power Wash Simulator for like $5 whenever it was on sale,
Yo.
and I realized there's that overlap, doing something in a game because you like it in real life, but that's
Oh
obviously a
my
very
god,
stupid
fucking Euro
example.
Truck Sit. You know, my time in like going to school for games I never actually thought about that. That's very interesting.
Why do gamers game?
I mean, yeah, that question has been brought up, but like the actual need or want or like just the parallel of like yeah, like you can't do things or experience things in real life, but like on like such like a meta psychological level. It's very interesting.
I mean, Tim, when you were in Ohio and we weren't playing Magic and Paper a lot, that was the time period where I was playing Arena.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was playing way more Magic because I had people in paper to play.
But you're right, yeah, you did. I like this theory. We should explore it again sometime.
Yeah, when we're not like pressing ourselves for time, we should explore it. I do like this. We should come back to this. But yeah, no. I just thought it was weird. It's such an interesting niche. Like battle royales kind of made a little sense to me. But I was like, yo, asymmetric horror games. But now you know what good answer though. Good answer of tag. It's just tag and people like tag. Deep down we all just want to be kids again. And I know we talked about nostalgia. Like that's something that without going into it, I talked about that today. We were talking about just how we used to acquire games because like me and my two other buddies at work, like we came from not so well off families, and so like we had to do what we could, and we're like, yo, we kind of miss those simpler times. But the difference is now I can afford mostly shit that I want. But I still kind of want to be a kid again.
I feel you. Our generation is doing it more than anyone, trying to collect all the stuff they couldn't get when they were kids.
Dude, for real though. On God. And you know what? It sucks because it's like it's actually now that you say that, right? Because in doing so, now that we have the money, we have driven up the need, which in turn has driven up the price.
Or the cause our own downfall. All right, that's 8 minutes. We've hit the topic time limit, unfortunately.
That's good, and I think we rounded that out pretty well. We can move on to where's
Deep
that?
shit.
Where's
I don't
that?
have the soundboard open ready to go. Whatever.
I was
Damn.
so hopeful.
I had an alarm set when we were starting, and I still forgot that it was time for the Weeb shit.
Bro, damn. Motherfucker out here emojiing
Shame.
in the fucking Discord.
Oh, that's what it does when it plays the sound. I know you have it muted, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, because I don't have the OG soundboard open. So I'm not talking about the waifu wars because there've been too many good waifus eliminated. I don't even want to look at the results yet. I'll check after the podcast. But let's talk about real anime announcements because this weekend, as it is every 4th of July weekend, was Anime Expo out in California.
So weird.
The only reason I know this is because Fate Grand Order, they always do their big anniversary event right around the 4th because it's at Anime Expo. But yeah, a lot of pretty good announcements there. The first one, I know part of it was announced there, and then later they started adding dates. I know Crunchyroll posted an article with the dates for it. But we're finally getting Fire Force Season 3 after, like, it's legitimately been like 2 years since this was announced. We have heard nothing about it. We finally got confirmation. I don't know if it's 2 full seasons or a split core, but Crunchyroll made a post today saying that the first part will be in April 2025, and then the next part is in January 2026. So
Sad, but it's fine. I'll be glad to have Fire Force finally over. I gotta catch Val up. I have 1 year.
it seems like a weird gap. Like if the first part is 26 episodes, I get it because actually no, then you don't have a 1 season gap for the next 15. Yeah, no, it's straight up 13 episodes and they're taking a 6-month break, which kind of sucks.
I mean, it sucks, but you know.
I mean, they're kind of doing what Bleach is doing then, I guess.
I was gonna say Bleach is literally
doing the same thing.
1 season on, 2 seasons
2
off.
seasons
1
off,
season
yeah.
on, 2 seasons off to finish.
Yeah, but
Bleach.
next season Bleach is back, baby.
Oh Jesus Christ! Who cares?
Yeah, whatever. Bleach is kind of it's whatever. Moving on.
Wait, Freeman, hold on. Let's just back up. Bleach is whatever, but also, are you gonna watch Bleach?
Absolutely. We're so close to the ending.
I just wanted to make sure that was.
I'm not here because Bleach is good. I need to know how Bleach died. Is why I'm
Damn,
here.
I need to know how Bleach died.
I need to watch the life drain out of his eyes to know he's dead.
Look,
I feel like that's exactly what he's going for.
Yes.
The plot is absolute horseshit. But I need to know. He's written himself in such an odd corner with the power levels, all the villains and shit in Bleach.
So egregious.
But I gotta know, how the fuck is Ichigo gonna eke out the win? Like,
somehow Paint Man can lose, even though he can literally paint things out of existence with his giant paintbrush.
like usually the big reveal is that Ichigo is actually some other race that's part of the show, but like we've already explored all like the races and abilities. Like unless they're gonna make another one up at like the 13th hour, I don't know what they're gonna
Ichigo got
do.
really serious this time, guys. I promise he's really motivated to power.
Help me God if they put him back in the hyperbolic time tunnel for one more attempt.
Oh my god.
Tyler, we still gotta catch you up.
Maybe one of these days. Someday. Maybe.
Maybe we should just recap you and show you the fight highlights. You don't have to deal with
We
the
already
bullshit.
showed him
You
the
know what?
fire one. We already
I'm
showed him.
actually cool if you guys just walked me, like, if you showed me the fights, I'm cool with that.
That's what I'm saying. For season 2, we could probably just like skim through the
Oh yeah,
important
season
bits
2 is fucking way
and just show you.
worse.
All right, look at this guy's power. Look how cool this is. Be like, all right, now he got jobs. Let's move on to someone
Except
else.
most of the powers are fucking terrible too.
Yeah, they don't make a lot of sense. Like you have to remember, like Tite Kubo is a aesthetic designer first, actual writer
those
second.
intros though, that drip everybody's got going in every intro, that's totally
He's
different.
really good at drawing outfits. He's really bad at drawing backstories.
Sounds like the motherfucker. Sounds like he should have went the way as the author from JoJo. Honestly.
Oh,
What,
have
where
one
he
person do
Yeah,
art,
because the
one person
author.
do
No,
story?
because the author of JoJo fucking. He was a fashion designer or wanted to be.
Which is why the later seasons are so wild, because it's just an avenue for him to draw goofy clothing.
Yeah, like it all makes sense.
Yeah,
now.
and look at how big JoJo is.
Yeah, and
Bleach, it's
guess
clearly
what?
working.
No one gives a fuck about the story half the time. Honestly,
I just finished part 6 and I have no fucking clue what happened in it.
Did
It's
it
gotten
matter?
that bizarre. Honestly, no,
Yeah, see,
it really didn't.
but everybody talks about how shit the story is in fucking Bleach.
Yeah,
Everybody.
Well, yeah, 'cause it is.
'cause it is. All right, let's move on to another anime mainstay from the early 2000s.
Oh man.
So Trigun is coming back. We knew this for a while because I think right after Stampede ended, not only did they give you a little bit of a teaser where they implied that what's her name Millie was going to come back to the show, but I think they just straight up confirmed it shortly after. But now we got more news about it. I don't remember if we got a date at Anime Expo.
I had it open. I don't think so.
No, I don't think it would be.
I think they just said that this is the final season. Like this is gonna wrap up the story.
All right, makes sense. I honestly, as someone who watched Trigun Stampede, I'm probably not gonna watch this one. I was fine with the animation of Trigun. I'm not faulting Studio Orange. The season wasn't very interesting for me. Even knowing everything there is about like knives from the original season, almost all of it's still in play here. It just it wasn't that interesting.
Ugh, I keep getting tempted to like, as one of my next shows that I just binge through, which we'll talk about the one I just finished in the watched and played, but
it wasn't bad. If you want to give it a shot and decide if you want to drop it if you're losing interest. But it wasn't a bad anime. I just didn't enjoy it.
Okay. I remember when we watched the original together, and I was like, yeah, this really isn't that good anymore. And then I'm like, the first episode had really cool, but the 3D animation is cool, and I want to support that because it's pretty impressive what they do.
I'll put it this way: your boy was cool in it, Tim. The dub cast was pretty decent.
Oh shit, my boy.
Yeah, it's whatever. Trigun.
Whatever, Trigun.
Whatever, Trigun.
Oh, I don't know if this came out because of Anime Expo or it was just similar timing, but they put out a trailer for the Overlord movie that we've been waiting for literally since the end of season 3, which is the movie that took place between episode 8 and 9 of season 3.
How long ago was that? Season 3.
It was last year sometime.
Oh, was that recent?
Yeah.
I thought it was longer.
Yeah, because last year they announced the movie was coming this year.
Bro, Overlord season 3 aired in 2018.
Season 4, then. I don't know why I lost track of a season in there.
Okay, that was 2022.
Yeah, okay. Wait, that was 22?
Started July 2022.
Shit, god damn it. Why is this taking so long? Whatever. The movie got a trailer. It looks great. I don't care. It's Overlord. Overlord is in top 10 of anime for me of all time. Even though the scores don't reflect that, it's one I care about more than almost any other. So this movie's coming out in September. I'm sure Crunchyroll will put it out about 2 years later in theaters in America for one night only, and that's it. So I look forward to whenever the fuck that happens, because we still don't know an American release date. We only know in Japan it's coming out in September. So why this is the hardest thing in the world, I don't know, but whatever. We talk about that every time we talk about a movie. Crunchyroll also said, hey, Dr. Stone, we already announced it, but it's coming back next year, guys. We swear, the final season of Dr. Stone.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure this is the last one.
It must be the last one based on what happens at the end of the season that just finished a little while ago.
I should really finish it. I still have,
you really should, because at the end of that, it's like there is literally... Okay, I can't say anymore.
Aliens.
No, it's not aliens,
don't confirm.
but I'm not. It's not fucking aliens. But never mind.
It's aliens, confirmed. Gotcha. Cool.
Dr. Stone coming next year, going to be done. I've similarly, like Dr. Stone, even in a weak season, I still care about Dr. Stone. It's still it's just like Bleach. It's like a ride or die. I will finish Dr. Stone because I enjoyed those first few seasons and the premise so much. It's one of those shows. I know I've talked about this on the podcast, or at least.
Oh, we lost your audio.
Oh, we lost you. No.
Is it your internet or is it your mic? Which is it?
Fucking mic again.
All right, good. Thank God it wasn't your internet.
Luckily, it came back for everybody. I was gonna say, and it kept going in the recording, which is kind of amazing. I don't know what the fuck's going on with my mic dying more. Maybe I'll have to finally replace this 8-year-old microphone. Dr. Stone is at the point where it's just like, kind of like.
Oh no!
We lost them again. This is bad.
Holy shit! I've never had the mic die twice. This is actually getting to the death point.
Is it an electrical issue or a cable problem?
I don't know. I've never tried a different cable with this because it's the old data cable. So I need to get a data cable and see if that's it. But plugging it back in works. And I'm not touching the mic, so I don't know. Weird. But what I was trying to say is that Dr. Stone is just like a ride or die show. I'm never going to not watch Dr. Stone. I enjoyed those first seasons too much. And the fact that it's such a unique premise is part of the reason why it's so easy to stick around with, because nothing else is like this.
Yeah.
Like Eminence in Shadow is such a good isekai, it makes it harder to watch others because it's like these are generic. Like I don't want to start a whole topic here, but Friedman, especially as we're going to talk about what's coming up in this season, we already did kind of, but like as this season seems like it's going to be a pretty slow one, we are definitely entering the era of like generic shows just aren't going to cut it anymore. There's too many good old shows to go back and watch that it's not worth watching the generic show of the season. Like you were talking to me and Val the other day, like if Val and I don't have shows, we're probably going to go back and watch shit like Odd Taxi finally from old seasons. It's not worth watching the generic shows of the season. There's too much good backlog.
Yeah. We're finally at that point. We're finally on a slow season where it's almost just like even the shows that might look interesting, I just have so little faith in them.
Oh, we'll get to that, Friedman, because I know exactly what you're fucking talking about.
No, I'm not talking about that show.
Oh.
Anyway, but I just want to make a joke because you were talking about generic isekai. I went to the top of the anime subreddit. A show just came out called No Longer Allowed in Another World. And I'm just like, these fucking titles, I can't take it.
See, at least Eminence in Shadow is like, I'm going to be edgy and fucking love it. And it's fucking great for it.
But speaking of titles that people couldn't take, this ties into the last topic here, but a show came out on Crunchyroll over the week that I saw the name of it and I'm like, this is not gonna, people are gonna have a hard time with this. The show is called Senpai is an Otokonoko, and the term Otokonoko is, dude looks like a lady. It's a term for men who cross-dress or want to appear as women in Japan, but they're not necessarily like trans. So anyway, this show comes out. They don't release it with the English title, which is My Cross-Dressing Classmate. They released it as My Senpai is an Otokonoko. People watch it. And there's a lot of trans hate in the comment section, and Crunchyroll revealed to the world that they don't moderate their comment section anymore. So in a kind of whiplash here, they're like, all right, we need to dodge this issue entirely. Just remove comments, and not
We
from this
found
show.
our
So
excuse.
we don't even want to draw attention to the show. Just remove all comments from every show for the entire history of Crunchyroll's existence. And then while we're on it, get rid of the rating system too.
Damn.
Which
Yeah, so now you can no longer, which to be fair, the only time I would ever read comments on Crunchyroll was like if an episode was slowing down and I was like just scrolling just to see, or like the outro music was playing but I wanted to wait through the outro in case there was an end credits thing, like it's fine. I don't know whoever posted on there. Just like many comment sections on the internet, it sucks. So, or it was generic first, or spoiler from the manga. So,
there are like ads for crypto scams. I saw that a lot too. They really weren't regulating it, and this just brought a lot of attention to it.
So yay, it's gone. Just like many other comment areas on the internet, it turns into a cesspool. Big shock.
I mean, not gonna lie, I did not rely on Crunchyroll's rating system for anything.
Oh
so,
no, I forgot that they had star ratings. I never rated a single thing.
yeah, ultimately,
That's what Mal is for.
It sucks to lose another place to have conversations. Like with the death of forums and everything, like consolidating to Reddit. It always bothers me because like this happened when the anime subreddit had its whole ordeal about do we allow jokes about traps or is it offensive, and then it fractured into 3 other subreddits and all of them are shit. And it's like I don't want Reddit to be the only place where discussion on the internet can happen. Like why is there not comment sections everywhere and they're disappearing?
Freeman, it's not the only place on the internet. You could also go to Facebook groups.
Oh Christ!
The Mal forum.
Like somebody we know.
Join a dedicated
foolish
anime
person.
Discord server.
Oh God.
Yeah. Anyway,
you know what? Can I just say it's so funny when people reference their Discord server, because the only reason we have this server is because of us playing D&D. Like there's technically a server for my YouTube channel. There's 2 of them somehow actually. Both of them don't really have people in them ever. But like the fact that people just go hang out in like social circles on Discord servers is like always a thing that blows my mind.
Not like how do you figure?
No, treating a Discord server as anything other than just a place for friends to hang out, kind of. Like saying, "Oh, I know these people. Here's just the room on Discord where we hang out." Whereas there are people who are like, I'm interested in Final Fantasy 14. I'm just gonna join a Final Fantasy 14's official Discord server and just kind of jump in.
Yeah. There's people who just are social like that.
And I get that.
It's weird.
I've never been that person, so it always seems weird to me.
So I'd been part of one for Fate Grand Order early in my Fate career, just because I needed other players to play with. But like, it was when Reddit was doing the blackout to protest something. I joined the anime subreddit's Discord server, and it's like, who are these people who want active live conversations with other complete strangers? It's just, I don't know.
Well,
I'm too boomer to appreciate this.
You are too boomer.
There is. Let's move on to the next thing.
Oh yeah, we can close on that.
I just got a message. I need to make a quick phone call for something. But
no, you don't, bro.
He just doesn't want to hear me
you
talk about this next
have
one.
a life. Yeah, I understand.
It's not that I have a life. I got a quick text that I needed to call somebody.
Yeah, sure.
Let's just get to Watched and Played so that you guys can go off because the list is long.
Cool. So the big news that impacted normies was that Hololive, the biggest VTuber agency on Earth, announced a collaboration event with the San Francisco Dodgers. Yes, that's the team name. Point is, stadium practically sold out. The merch line to buy all the exclusive merch they had at this event wrapped 3/4 of the way around the stadium, which is the longest merch line they've ever had for any event at the stadium. Watching the footage inside, it was just a bunch of weebs being weebs at a baseball game. But the big defining thing about this was that the Dodgers were losing significantly going into the 7th inning. Gargura, the biggest English VTuber, comes on, sings "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," and immediately the Dodgers rally to win. So
the magic of VTubers.
The magic of VTubers. So everyone is memeing. It's hilarious seeing all seeing just cosplayers at a baseball game is so stupid. But I'm happy they could do this. I'm hoping the MLB realizes nerds will come to your baseball games if you cater to them.
I don't even think it's the MLB. I think all over the place. This is what is more mainstream than baseball?
The Weebs, I would say, just because of the players, basketball, because they openly talk about One Piece on Twitter all the time. So it's hilarious seeing the crossover between nerds and like professional sports.
Well, there was the thing recently. We're at like, what was it? Like some major international sporting event.
Oh,
Was it a the two
the legs
guys?
of the forbidden one, yeah.
Huh?
One of the sprinters competing in the Olympics, kept flashing like Yu-Gi-Oh cards before
No,
his.
there was a thing on Reddit I saw like 2 weeks ago where it's some either red carpet event of like actors or a sporting event. Like two famous guys in like were in the background of a video interview, and they were talking about different Magic cards they wanted to get. And it's like weird to think of famous people other than like Post Malone being interested in nerdy shit like that. Anyway, that's wild though. That's literally like gonna be a headline somewhere. A normie could turn on Fox News or CNN and see that and be
it's
like,
pretty
"What's this
wild
stupid
shit.
kid shit?" Back in my day, we didn't have Japanese girl cartoons singing baseball songs.
And Sailor Moon like good people did.
Oh my god. All right.
All right.
Time to go into the absolute pile of stuff. You guys go for it. I'll be right back. There's plenty of stuff I'm not able to talk about here, I'm sure.
Bro, the top half of the list is all stuff you watched.
Yeah, but we can go with Tyler's mountain of things that I haven't played or games I'm not going to be able to play ever.
All right, so then we'll start at the bottom, then we'll talk about video games first. I know how last time we all met, I said I was gonna beat Chrono Trigger. You'll never
Lol.
guess what happened. I
You
got
did
through half.
not.
I got through half of the side quest you need to do before the final boss, and then I just ran out of time to play video games. So I've just been busy the last 2 weeks. That said, I also picked up one additional game. I started playing Nier Automata, which I got maybe 5 or 6 hours through before real life hit, and I had to stop playing games like a week and a half ago. But I went in knowing absolutely nothing about this game other than that it's weird. And holy shit, the opening level is just weird. Like it starts as Galaga, and then it becomes Asteroids, and then it becomes Bayonetta. Is how the opening sequence progressed, and at this point I'm all about it. Like I got to the first major boss fight where just like the boss will hit you with an attack, and now suddenly you're playing. Oh my god, I said the name of the game, not Galaga. Asteroids. You'll be playing that in the middle of a boss fight. It very much jumps around with genres. You go to a part of map and suddenly you're in a side scroller. I got to a boss fight, and before I knew it, it felt like I was on a 1v1 like fighting game. The game is very much messing with you, and I really like that. But I have a problem. It's not just me. There are threads about this all over the internet, but the game doesn't work very well on PS5. It has a couple zones where it will just straight up crash, including a sequence you must go through for the main story very early on in the game. Crashes unless you do some shit like try to approach it from the far left wall and then hug your camera inside of the wall so that it can't render the thing that it can't render. And it's goofy that it doesn't work, and it's infuriating that there's no plans to fix it. So I'm annoyed. I told Tim about this, that since I have PlayStation Plus and this is not like there is no PS5 enhanced version of this game. I'm just playing the PS4 version. I could in theory upload my save and then just download it to my PS4 and continue on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I might have to break the PS4 out of retirement to continue this game because it's like the whole game plays the idea that you can't save all the time, and if you do load a save, it doesn't load you where you were. It loads you relatively close to where you were. So a game crash is annoying as shit because the game's really trying to punish you for not saving enough or not getting to a save point. But if it's going to bug out 30 minutes into a mission every time, that's really not that fun. So I may just move over to the PS4 to save my sanity. But I
Do you
very
have a
much enjoy
PS4
it.
or?
Oh, I do. I still have my PS4. It's not a Pro though, so I have to just deal with longer load times.
If you want
But
to borrow my God of War Pro version,
maybe.
I am trying to sell it though, but I doubt it's gonna be sold soon. So if you want to borrow, you can.
I don't know. You know how long it takes me to beat video games, right?
Oh, true.
Yeah,
True.
I'll probably next time I'm over my apartment grab my PS4, see if there's any kind of because the thing is that like it doesn't even load that fast on PS5. I thought it would, but I realized it's not. Like whatever the game's doing to load is not a hard drive read thing like it was with Witcher. So maybe it will be completely unchanged. But either
I
way,
don't understand how they could do this to booty like that.
the thing is the port wasn't always broken. So I'm trying to remember what year the PS5 came out. Was it in 2020 or was it 2019 when the PS5 dropped?
2021.
No.
I can't remember anymore.
Either way, it was like late 2021. They released a big patch for PS5 that broke a ton of backwards compatibility with PS4 games. And while a lot of them have fixed it, Nier Automata hasn't gotten an update since then.
Yeah.
So, because they already released their Game of the Yora edition, which was their last time touching it before moving on to the Nier Replicant remake. But either way, I'm enjoying it. I will find a way to play this. I will still beat Chrono Trigger. Maybe not by next time, but mark my words.
Mark my words.
But speaking of Chrono Trigger, you played something reminiscent.
Oh yeah, I could briefly talk about it because it's like tangentially related. Sea of Stars. I beat that game.
Do you know how long it took?
Uh, I could tell you it was about like 38 hours. Wait, hold
All
on.
right,
I can actually go to my thing because I have Steam up.
that's like the appropriate length
Oh
for a
no, never
JRPG.
mind. It's about like 45 hours.
That's still reasonable.
Um, Still reasonable. But I decided to. So when you collect everything, like if you do all the side quests and collect all of a specific thing, then you get like an extra 5 hours of content. Weirdly enough, um, it's pretty cool. I have one gripe about it. Uh, where they gatekeep the ending based off of how many of this thing that you collect. You have to collect all of an item, like all of these like particular items in the game for you to get the quote true ending of the game. And I hate that.
So you are right to hate it, but this is not the first time I've gone through something like this. I remember back in the Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. In order to get the true ending that teased Kingdom Hearts 3, you had to like collect all this random shit. But this is very, I guess,
Yeah,
on brand for these kind of
it's
RPGs.
fucking stupid. That's the thing. It's not on brand for all of them. And I was talking to my one friend about it, and I was like, nah, man, like, there are better ways to do it. Like, I'd rather unlock a true ending through content than through collectibles. And you know what's weird? He didn't like Chrono Trigger for that reason. And I was like, what do you mean? It's more content. Like at least I am playing more content and I'm earning stuff through more content than collecting shit and number one not getting anything except for a better ending. But that could be a whole other topic for a whole other time
What about
without
like
getting in.
how to end your games or how to do collectibles or
It's any of that. Like kind of like I honestly just I hate collecting things, especially like in the manner like you literally it's one of those like because they were trying to keep it as true to an old school RPG as it could be, to the point where it's like you literally cannot find these things unless you have like severe autism or you have a guide.
like
Like I'm
something no,
being
someone would never be able to figure out?
dude, I went when I went back to go find these things, um every single last one that I got were all like I was like I would have never gotten them, and I don't think anybody else would have gotten them either. Like, because before I was like, oh, like there's maybe one or two maybe where I was like, okay, I could see how I didn't get that. Like, oh yeah, I remember I needed to come back for that, right? But most of the ones that I missed, I was like, no fucking shot. People just found these, unless they're crazy people. Like especially there's some items that you have to move. Like there are things that look like they're part of the scenery, like completely, and it turns out you had to move that. And I'm
Oh,
like, how the fuck? Like I hate that. It's like how was I supposed to know that this thing could move? How was I supposed to know I could go here? Freeman, there's a in one of the maps, right? How to get this one? You literally had to like you know Tim, perfect example. You know how like in synthetic there are some levels where like that like one box, you know, it's like kind of hidden behind
oh yeah,
the
like you just
fence or
really can't
whatever.
see it.
Yeah, you can't see it, but it's there. This is worse than that because it's like, oh, like we know based off playing the game that we could go behind something like the fence that I'm referencing, right?
Oh, like this would be in a place where like normally you wouldn't even be able to get behind
Yeah,
this thing, but this is where it is.
yeah, like this is where it is. Like you literally go behind this wall where you can't see your character, and it looks like you can't go there because it looks like there's collision. And I feel like you wouldn't know to go back there unless you were literally tracing the entire map. Like basically the equivalent of like hitting every single wall that you find in a dungeon. And
Yeah,
like
that's annoying.
that shit is like annoying, and I get that's how like old video games are, but like come on, I just don't have the time nor like the patience for that kind of shit, and I think it's annoying. And to like hide a whole freaking ending behind it is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can go on about it. Like people can disagree with me, and that's totally fine. But I just think it's poor game design. Um, but that all aside, I completely got sidetracked.
Uh-oh.
For as much shit as I talk about this game, I really want to actually say how perfect. Like that is my only gripe. In a sea of like, I can't give this game enough
Ha, a
praise.
sea of.
A sea of more like sea of praise, not just sea of stars. It is a like this game. Like if you like Chrono Trigger, this game, you'll like this game. It's so good. The storytelling, the game mechanics. Oh my god, especially the game mechanics. Like it's so good.
Watching play, it looked like a lot of fun.
Like dude, I like the fact that it's like it's not just an RPG, but like sometimes it becomes a puzzle is really fucking cool. Jeez, I don't know where to begin or end, just other than like it's honestly one of those must plays. And like I was actually telling Michelle, I was like honestly, like I know how you feel about like RPG games like this.
But this.
I was like, but I honestly think you would really enjoy this game. And she's like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like my kind of thing. I'm like, listen, you could play this game. This game has a story mode where it's stupid easy, and like you can literally just experience it for the story and like the lore and stuff. I'm like, I honestly think you would enjoy it. She's not gonna play it, but I'm hoping that maybe she watches a let's play or does something because it's really good. I love the art, the music fucking slaps. Like I could honestly just go on about this game. It's honestly a must play. I haven't had one of these in a long time, or in a while. Like I'm trying to think what the last game I played recently that I was like, everyone needs to play this game. It might have been like God of War or something like that. Or at least to experience the story. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's
Um,
hilarious because usually after I finish a game, I tell you guys, no one else should play this game.
yeah, like, but that's the thing, right? It's like I like some games, like you guys have known me for a while, and like you guys know the kind of games that I'll recommend to people. Like I enjoy The Bunker, right? Like I loved Amnesia the Bunker a lot,
Yeah.
but like I would never recommend that to you guys. But like Sea of Stars is a game like I would honestly recommend it. Like obviously Freeman. It's the
Yeah,
natural progression. If you love like Chrono Trigger, this is going to be like possibly better. Like an upgraded version of Chrono Trigger.
all right, cool. Because from watching the boss fights you did, it looked like a lot of fun. Like I like
Yeah.
RPGs where you have to be active in combat, and this looks like one of them.
Yeah,
Or sorry,
it's
turn-based but still active.
right. And you know what? You don't get a lot of turn-based combat, in my opinion, that makes you feel engaged in the gameplay. And
Yeah.
that's what I really enjoy about this game. But yeah, like even you, Tim, I think you would enjoy it. They have some really cool like magic stuff going on. It's cool. It's one of those like everybody would probably like, even Val. If Val experienced this story with you, I think she would enjoy it.
Nice.
Yeah, all right. I'm done. I'm done gushing. I could literally go into so much detail about it, but
All right.
that's it. I'm good.
Would you want to play Alan Wake 2, or is Tim, this wasn't you, was
Nope,
it?
that's I
No.
looked
Oh,
too.
are we
Alright.
talking? Wait,
Yeah,
we're not
let's just
talking from the
well, I
top. We'll
said
just go down mine.
yeah, I would say let's just finish the video games and then we'll loop back up to the top, do some anime, and then we'll
Okay.
talk about movies.
All right. Yeah. So then I was going to. Well, so I am playing KOTOR. I started KOTOR. Tim has been gushing about it.
Ooh.
I forgot why I started playing KOTOR though.
I think because you said I'm finishing Sea of Stars, I need a thing to play. I was like, Tyler.
Yeah, but why KOTOR? No, it definitely wasn't you. It was like
Wouldn't have been you.
Damn.
no, I'm sorry. Yeah, funny enough, right?
That
It
was
wasn't
like,
him.
nah, fuck you. That wasn't you.
You know why? I think because Michelle and I, and maybe you and like because I think I was also talking to Luigi, and all the time about Star Wars, I'm like, man, like I really want like some good Star Wars content. And I was talking about reading
Yes, because
the
you're
Thrawn
you're reading
trilogy,
Thrawn trilogy, yeah.
and I was like, you know what? I was like, it's another RPG out of the bajillion RPGs I'm playing this year. You know what? Fuck it. Let's start KOTOR. But then I was like, oh yeah, like towards the end of me finishing Sea of Stars, the Alan Wake 2 DLC came out, Night Springs. And I was like, fuck. That's right. Those came out. And I was like, I'm just gonna bang these out real quick. Which I did. I killed them inside like 2 hours or something like that.
Damn.
They're super short. It's the first DLC stint for Alan Wake 2, and I thought it was a lot of fun. There are short little stories, 3 episodes each for this quote in-game show called Night Springs, and they all center around 3 different characters. And Tim, after playing the 3rd episode in it, I want to try out or at least see Quantum Break now,
Really?
because I think Quantum Break exists now in this whole like what is it called? I don't even know if they have but like I don't know, the Sam Lake universe. I'm just gonna call it the fucking Sam
I'm
Lake
pretty
verse.
sure they do.
Yeah, I don't know what they call it exactly, but that's what it is. Cause like uh, 'cause what's his face from Quantum Break, Sean whatever, who's in stuff. He's in like his character is like the center of the 3rd episode,
Huh.
which is my favorite episode, by the way. And Jesse is in the 2nd one
Wow.
from Control. Yeah, it's actually a prequel to Control.
What?
Yes,
Oh god, this
where
hurts
she's
my brain.
looking for her brother.
Oh, cheese and rice.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty like these episodes are pretty cool. Like they have you running through the same sections, like in Alan Wake 2, so you're not gonna get anything brand new. But I think they're really cool. They're like fun little half-hour like stories.
Yep.
But the 3rd one was awesome, and I don't want to spoil it in case you ever play it, but it's really fucking cool.
Alan Wake 2 is on the list of games I need to get around to playing.
Yeah, it's cool. I liked Alan Wake 2. I like unlike everybody was saying that it's game of the year. It probably deserved game of the year like sometimes, but like last year was so like filled with bangers.
Stacked, yeah.
I don't think it came close, honestly. But I still think it was fun. I still think it was good. Aiden asked me if it was worth playing. I told him yeah. Don't expect much from a story, but the game was fun nonetheless. And these DLC episodes were a lot of fun as well. I think it was actually money well spent for the season pass.
Nice.
Yeah, so those are the games that I finished recently. So you guys aren't gonna hear another one until I fucking finish KOTOR, whatever the hell that is.
That's okay. I'll be along for the whole ride.
Oh yeah, it's been hilarious so far. Oh my god. But yeah, what's the next thing that
Let's loop back to the top and blitz the anime, and then come back to some movies and live action shows.
Sure.
Word.
All right, cool. So Kaiju number 8 finished, and I don't know about you, Tim, but I was kind of disappointed with this show.
So Freeman, before you got on, I told Tyler, this is the only show that got below an 8 from all of last season.
Damn.
Yeah, like it wasn't a bad show, but like this is very much like the most formulaic shonen show possible. It's like I don't know what everyone was hyping up. Like it didn't stand out in any meaningful way to me. Like outside of the fact that the main character isn't a high schooler, he's in his 30s. That was
He's
the
an
most
old
novel
man.
part of that was the most novel part of this show.
Yeah.
Everything else has already been done before.
Yeah.
Like from like I'm avoiding the comparison, but like it's Attack on Titan.
Damn.
Like
I wouldn't go that far.
like,
I mean,
from
it is similar, but
like from the moment his team finds out he can transform into a Titan. I'm talking about Kaiju, by the way. Can transform into a Kaiju. It plays out almost exactly the same way. Well, not exactly.
I don't know. I
like,
still think it's refreshing to have the team who supports instead of the one supporter person. Like how so many shows are like, oh my god, he saved his life. We have to come around eventually to be convinced. It's like, no, the team is just like, yeah, you're a bro. Thanks, bro.
But like the thing that gets me is all the manga fans are talking about like, I hope everyone enjoyed the first season because this is the part where
this
the
is
manga
the good
fell
part,
off.
yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Like we just got through the intro and you tell me it falls off? Like
Was so funny.
I don't know. Manga fans are also objectively wrong about every opinion I've heard from them in the last year or two. So I really am taking this with a grain of salt. But it'll be back for another season, and I'll judge it again when that happens.
I don't know, man. It was fine. It was cool. The action was very pretty. Like it was a well-produced show.
Oh, the fights were great.
I didn't have any. It's. I think the best way to put it is I didn't have any major glaring problems with it. Nothing was like, oh my god, this is the best show. I'm so excited to watch this every week.
Yeah.
Like in a season where Demon Slayer came back for a filler arc, quote unquote, and My Hero came back, which are both supposed to be, according to the internet, those shows are basically over and terrible. Both of them I enjoyed more this season than starting Kaiju number 8. Yeah. Like, one of the only things I got out of this show is 2 songs to add to my playlist for the intro and outro, because I like the songs. I really didn't get much else from this season.
Yeah, it's kind of mad. All right, let's keep rolling.
There's so much.
Oh, this one's more recent. So the Blue Lock movie came to U.S. theaters.
Jesus Christ!
A week and a half ago. It was like a weekend theatrical event, so we went to go see it. And like I knew it was probably gonna cover a lot of what we saw in season 1 because the movie's dedicated to the character Nagi, who he's a side character who shows up halfway, or not halfway. He becomes a sort of main character halfway through season 1, and then he sticks around for the back half of season 1. But we already know, like in the show, what his loose backstory is going to be. So this was their chance to show it to us. So like there wasn't anything too surprising in here. If anything, it was cool to watch a story you already know, but from a different character's perspective. It's like I know what's the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, the like the Shakespeare play about the side characters from Hamlet. Like that concept of we're going to tell you a story we already know, but we're going to show you the other character's perspective. I've always enjoyed them. Like if you guys ever watch Lion King 1.5, best straight to VHS movie Disney's ever made.
It honestly is though. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not.
I trust you guys' opinions. I just have never watched a single one of those Disney VHS movies.
If you're ever bored, Lion King 1.5, absolute banger. But yeah, the movie, it was okay.
I liked it a good amount. I liked it more than the Haikyuu movie, I think.
The only thing I didn't like was it felt like there was a lot of retreading stuff we already saw.
Sure, but we did get a nice teaser to lead into what season 2 is going to be like, which I liked.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think seeing the process be different from someone else's perspective who is so at like kind of the opposite end from Isagi, like who really starts at the bottom and is like started from the bottom, now we here. Whereas Nagi is very much like just the born genius who learns to actually like soccer. Like it is still, okay, this is really silly sounding for even. It is still one of the best like little twists or moments I've seen in like the last year of anime when he points at Isagi and is like, Reo, sorry bud, fuck you, I'm gonna go learn how to be good at how to care about soccer with someone who's not you, the guy who taught me how to play soccer. and discovered me. Like that was a great moment.
So everything up until that point, I loved. It really fleshed out not even just Nagi, but Reo. Like what
in the
his
movie, you
was.
mean?
Because I have a much better perspective on who he is going into season 2 now. Like before this movie, I didn't give a shit about him. I thought he sucked. Now I realize he's a way better character in general than I thought. But from that moment where he splits off and Nagi was like in center stage during the actual season, everything from that point on in the movie, it didn't add that much.
To be fair, the movie was like 3/4 over by that point.
Yeah, but like honestly, they could have just ended the movie right there.
Yeah, but they got through it and got us to see the. I mean, I think they would have ended it there if they weren't trying to also do like here's for the first 2 minutes of season 2 kind of thing.
Yeah,
which seems like it's gonna be pretty hype.
Oh, it's going to be. I just can't help shake the feeling that I got tricked into watching a recap movie.
I mean, we did. We got tricked by it being from a different character's perspective. It's not. Look, at the end of the day, it's not like the Bochi movie or anything where we didn't watch it because it's just reanimating the same shit we already saw. Like, this is at least a new take on the same material.
Well, you mentioned Bochi, which is a great transition to the next show. So we finished one called Jellyfish. Is it Jellyfish Don't Swim in the Night? Or
Jellyfish Don't Swim in the Night, a.k.a. the highest scoring show of last season.
Or as we just call it, Jellyfishing. Plot of the show, girl used to be an artist, she doesn't draw anymore, until one day she's captivated by another artist, the singer, and they start collecting these other artists in one way or another to form this online musical group, is the butchered synopsis of this show. But I really like this. This was an anime original, didn't have any source material to work off of, which is usually something to be cautious about with these kind of shows. But I thought they tackled a lot of cool issues, and it was a very modern show.
Yes.
It deals with not a lot, but like it deals with some issues that modern teenagers think way more about than we did, especially in regards to like being a YouTuber, social media clout, like dealing with people shit talking you online. Like it was refreshing to see their take on issues that I see are probably way more common with the current generation. And I thought it did them very well. So I very much enjoyed this show.
Side note, this is from the studio who did and is currently doing Oshi no Ko. So it also looks gorgeous.
Yeah, they did some experimenting with this show. Like there were a lot of, especially in the early episodes and then in the last episode, where like the camera was just like flying around the screen, and they managed to hold it together. It wasn't like Handshakers over that. The girl I like forgot her glasses. That was the show that had the bizarro camera. Like it didn't get absurd like that, but it was nice.
This studio's going places, especially with the first episode of Oshi no Ko season 2 being pretty good. So Tyler, you probably don't remember but Freeman, I know you're gonna remember this because we've talked about it. But like a couple of years ago, there was a show about 4 girls who go to Antarctica because one of them has like a thing with her mom that disappeared and she wants to go to Antarctica. And I personally didn't connect emotionally with that show like at all. But like Mother's Basement, Giga, like the big anime people that Freeman and I watch on YouTube, like they were like, oh my god, blah blah blah, this is the peak of girls doing things like K-On! Kind of style, like cute girls doing cute things is the trope. Or like Bochi. This show resonated with me in every way that show failed to. This super hit it out of the park for me. I immediately connected with these characters. The girl who wants to be an artist but thinks everyone will think she's weird for doing art. The singer who like is already a failed idol. The girl who's like the quote unquote girl, I guess technically Friedman, who is like very much dealing with their own image and how they're perceived by society. Like it's all very, like Freeman said, modern takes on a lot of these topics, and the whole thing comes together really well. I also have a soft spot for
again.
Huh?
Or
No, you're buzzing.
I'm cutting out, I think.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was excellent. I think I could double check, but I think last season, or for the shows I've watched recently, which basically just means last season, basically everything got 8s except Kaiju got a 7 and this got a 9. This is probably the winner for me of last season, which is pretty impressive considering a lot of the stuff that we have. But yeah, this edges it out. This was the show that I was hounding you and Val to find time to watch together because I wanted to watch this show. So if you're looking for a show of ever since Bocchi ended of cute girls doing cute things and like being a group
Music
together,
involved.
Go get a High Dive subscription and watch this because you already have High Dive to watch Oshinoko because clearly this studio is only going to put stuff out on High Dive. So
Yeah, I'm noticing a pattern here.
what's next? Oh boy, Freeman.
Bartender. Okay, so this is an early 2000s anime that finally got its remake. I think we talked about this one a couple weeks back when it started, but long story short, the remake was very different than the original. I would not go as far as saying it was better or worse. I am going to explicitly say it was different. The first show didn't really have much manga to work off of, so the plot was always person comes into bar, the bartender hears their life story, and then serves them a drink that's perfect, and then explains to you the history of the drink and why it's perfect for their situation. And it was nice, it was neat. There was never too much of an overarching plot line. It was very much about the alcohol. This one, they had a real plot to work with here. So the story was way more about the bartenders and less about the alcohol and the drinkers.
So I lied before. Kaiju was not the lowest score. This was the only
Bartender?
6. Bartender is the lowest score.
Yeah. The problem is it was 12
fine.
episodes.
It was just kind of whatever.
It was 12 episodes long, and 3 of them were dedicated to like the worst side character
Oh
in the
my
show.
fucking god, that hotel kid. Holy
The dumbest,
shit, was he so
most
annoying.
flat character had 2 arcs to himself.
Tyler, literally, it's the most generic. I want to do a job, but my dad is rich and doesn't want me to do the job, so I got to prove to my dad that I can do the job.
I also
that
don't
I
have
care
emotions.
enough. Huh?
But I also don't have emotions. I'm a terrible character.
Oh my
to actually
god, yeah,
watch
he's
and
literally
vote.
like, I will not show this emotion, but I will tell you this is what I'm feeling.
Terrible character.
What the fuck?
Very boring. Very boring.
The rest of the characters were great. He just bogged down that show and
Really
made up
killed the middle.
25% of the runtime.
You know what didn't bog down that show? I'm going to
The
jump
alcohol.
in, and since we're just putting it in the order it's on here. So, a while ago, we talked about John Wick, girls John Wick girls, aka
You can't say
Lycoris
John Wick.
Recoil.
Yeah, we can't say John Wick the anime because Ninja Kamui has that title now.
Wait, what was the show we were watching where they had a John Wick reference, Freeman, when you were here on Sunday? Was that Oshinoko? Where they literally showed that frame of John Wick?
Was it, or was it fucking Deer anime had it?
Oh, it was Deer anime. That's right. We'll get to that. Ugh. So Lycoris Recoil. I think the 3 of us watched the first episode quite a while ago when the show came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing the first
and
one.
we were all like, nah, it seems fine. So I was like, other seasons slowing down. This season has very few shows I care about. I'm going to finally watch Lycoris Recoil. I do not regret it. I gave it an instant 8 out of 10. A1 Pictures has really struggled to miss. Ever since 86, I just like everything I watch of theirs hits pretty good for me.
Ever since Alicization, they haven't missed.
Well, I didn't watch that. But,
Really should.
well, you guys can watch Gun Gale and tell me how that is. Even though Tyler said he
I can
won't.
tell you that much.
Damn.
Either way, A1 has been hitting pretty good with these anime originals, or these like other side adaptation things. I really enjoyed this show. The action is great, but it's also about the characters. There's Freeman. I know we're not talking about the bracket. There is a reason Chisato is 6th seed on that list. She is a very strong character.
All right.
And there's a reason that I can't remember her name. They keep calling each other nicknames, so I forget her actual name. There's a reason that the other girl from Lycoris Recoil made it as high to go against her and lose to Chisato. Like, they are both very good characters who are not just the tropey characters. It's another anime that is great because it has, like, none of the anime tropes is another big plus. It's not one of those, like, oh, ho, ho, we have girls in here, so we're going to do, like, all the little fan service-y shots and shit like that. Like, no, there is none of that in this show, which I found great.
I have a question now.
Yes, please.
I'm looking at Mal. The most recent discussion threads are episode 12, episode 13, and then a topic, is this Yuri? I'm going to ask you, is it Yuri bait?
I mean, they kind of... Okay.
What
They
does that
ca-
mean? Is it gay? Is that what they're saying?
Yes.
Like, or it's not. They're not lesbians, but they play up that they might be.
I thought you were American. They definitely might be. But there's no scene where they actually kiss like in Jellyfish.
Gotcha.
There's definitely a little bit of like touchy stuff going on. Not even like that. That sounds really bad. Like there's intimate moments that are cute and like not even that. Like
Nothing as lewd as that, Freeman. Come on.
No,
yeah, we can't
I don't
show
want to.
that.
I literally can't talk about it because it's actually kind of tied to a spoiler. But there are like nice moments of them just being together, not in a really romantic way, just in a like close way. So you could easily make the case. They do imply that maybe a season 2 could happen. Maybe. But honestly, I think this was great. This is definitely, we talked about it earlier, but if this season is a slow season, this is the kind of show I want to go back and watch, like this, like Odd Taxi, which I haven't watched yet. But like, I want to go back and find these shows that I knew were probably good and just didn't get the chance. And I want to take this time and give them the chance with this slow season.
Interesting. This was an original.
Yeah, that's what I mean. For an anime original, this was really enjoyable. They really use it as an anime original. It's not tied down in a lot of ways that a lot of adaptations are, it feels like. They really know how to use the medium, which is why I've really been enjoying A1.
So, I'll say that given how popular it was, it spun off a ongoing manga series. So if that goes on longer on its own, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets a season 2 to adapt
I would
whatever
hope
they do there.
so. I like this crew. I like the girls. I like the action. They are built to do more. So there's a lot less like backstory. Like a lot of the backstory stuff gets kind of cleared out, but they definitely left the door open, which I'm excited for. But speaking of leaving the fucking door open,
Let's speed up the next couple. I think we're going on. We're destined to go over on time at this pace.
No, we're fine.
Hmm.
You guys don't know how far we are in. So most overrated show in the history of anime came back this season with the lamest arc ever. Hashira Training.
Oh, are we talking about D-Mid Slayer again?
Mid Slayer, damn. Jesus
just
Christ.
like My Hero Demon Slayer is absolutely back. This was so much better than Swordsmith Village. It's actually crazy. Considering there's only like half a fight scene in this season.
But all 6 of the quarter fight sequences that make it up are all
awesome.
Stunning.
Yes. They are clearly getting everything nailed down for the triple movie. Oh yeah, we didn't have that on the news.
Oh yeah.
Since Demon Slayer ended, they have confirmed that the show will end with 3 movies in theaters. Which,
yeah, I mean, it's kind of dumb.
It's dumb, and it's a money grab. And I will go see every single one in theaters because this shit's gonna look fucking. If this, Freeman knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's the moment we popped off about in chat on Sunday last week. If the movies look like this, I need to go see this shit in theaters.
Yeah, let me put it this way. Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, when it came out in like 2010, beautiful anime. Looks like dog shit compared to the Fate movies that came out after. Like, when Ufotable has the movie budget, they deliver. And
they've been delivering without the movie budget. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, now they're going to get the movie budget for 3 movies. Like, I am all here for this.
Tyler, they fucking cooked with that last episode.
Yeah.
It is fucking hot shit. It is gorgeous.
Yeah, from start to finish. It was the last episode itself was so well done. Especially like so Ufotable's doing really well with the CG, but like there's the opening scene of the final episode. There's so much CG and all of it like actually looks amazing.
Yeah. We'll stop hyping it up, but I gave it an 8 because this season honestly,
at some point.
Huh?
I will watch it at some point.
Good.
Sure.
If you need to come over on a Sunday and do a rewatch, we'll be down.
Well, in the year it's going to take and release the first movie, you got it. You got a lot of time.
Oh God, stop! That's the worst part. No, this was everything that it's funny. You think that an arc about talking and training would be more boring than an entire attack on a village, but this is way more interesting than the Swordsmith Village arc.
Yeah.
Just
Swordsman had
training.
a lot of.
Literally, you spend a half episode with each Hashira, and that's all you fucking need. It's like these little side questy moments with each Hashira before the final arc, and it's perfect to develop their characters, give Tanjiro that final power boost, like to get ready for the finale. Like it really cleanly does things, and the Hashira sparring against each other is most of the action in this, and it looks fucking sick. Seeing some of their moves before the movies is great because we hadn't seen all the Hashira in action yet.
Yeah.
So,
It was a good setup arc. I'd argue this was one of the better training arcs in any shonen adaptation I've seen.
Oh yeah.
Usually you hear training arc like this is gonna suck. This was legitimately entertaining.
Yep. Ah, fuck.
Jobless reincarnation time, is it? So we started this season off the back of season 2, part 1, which was objectively terrible. Absolutely terrible season. As much as I loved the romance at the end of season 2, part 1, the content of that season was not why I was watching Jobless Reincarnation. There was no adventuring, there was no exploration, there was hardly any world building. And they fixed a lot of that with the second half, because what happens? Rudy goes on an adventure, there's a lot of world building, there's a lot of character development. The only problem I have with this show, and Tyler, you're not going to watch it, are you?
Probably not, no.
Listeners, if you're not watching it, whatever. If you do watch it, chances are you've already seen pictures of this online. This is the season where Mushoku becomes like an actual legitimate harem anime. And if you think it's gonna stop with Rudy having 2 wives, I have very, very bad news for you.
Wait, what?
Like this is the start of the wife collection arc in Jobless
No, there's
Reincarnation.
more.
Yeah.
Collection arc.
Yeah, this is. I'm not going to say anymore, but I'm concerned about the future of Jobless Reincarnation. While this season was good, I don't know what's going to happen next, and frankly, I really don't like this whole polyamory thing they got going on.
It's Friedman. It was secretly a harem the whole time.
That's hold on. When you watch a harem anime,
no,
the end goal is never a harem. The end goal is to pick one. That's usually the appeal of harem anime.
Friedman, we're in a post-100 Girlfriends world.
Now, 100 Girlfriends goes the other direction. Says let's catch them all. Let's do the absurd thing that no one actually thinks to do. And then you have Mushoku being like, let's do it reasonably. To which I say, I don't know if I want it. But if they can keep up the action and keep up the character drama this season, I will still watch it. It was a great season. There was a lot of really like gut-wrenching moments, like one in particular. I don't know. I really like this season. What about you, Tim? I know you don't like Jobless anywhere near as much.
I gave it an 8. Look, it's the most reluctant. This is like the classic, like, I'm here because nothing seems to do as well. Like as Mushoku Tensei does certain things, I just have to close my eyes and grit my teeth whenever Rudy acts like a fucking. To be fair, that happens a lot less this season.
Yeah, he has less. He has way fewer of his.
I just legitimately, literally no idea where the fuck the show is supposed to go from here. If it's just collecting wives, like this show seems like it's not headed. Every question has now been resolved. There is nothing left other than pulling it like the faintest of strings.
They're gonna start introducing new plot lines because they've pretty much resolved everything so far. Like I don't think there's anything hanging after this season.
Technically, the stuff with Dragon Man is not known at all, and the teleporting stuff, the girl.
Yeah.
But those are like B plots. The A plot is over. We've resolved it.
No. Season 3 is going to start. The man got to be like, hey, Rudy, you got to go do thing X. And that's it. That's how the next season is going to start.
Oh, it's going to be calling in the debt from the princess thing, I bet, with Sylphie or whatever. Okay.
Anyway,
look, I gave it an 8. It was good. It's a very pretty show. It's well done. It legitimately tackles emotionally heavy topics like no other anime usually are willing to do. Like I give it chops for that. I wish I could forget all of the skeevy details of part 1 of this season.
Yeah.
Like, Rudy was so irredeemably shitty, and okay, anyway, much better show, even though it's the same exact score. my hidden pick of last season, even though Jellyfish was amazing, Windbreaker. This is so Freeman. I had never watched a show from the delinquents genre that Tokyo Revengers seems to be the headliner of.
Yes.
Windbreakers was fucking great. Cloverworks, the team behind Bocchi the Rock and Spy Family did this show. For a show without powers and completely rooted in realism, even more than like Spy Family likes to be. The animation is gorgeous. Character crew is great. Gojo voices a badass again. It's literally Gojo being Gojo again. You can see his eyeballs this time. I don't want to give much away because it's a very simple story. It's kids being delinquent fighting kids, but it's a really wholesome one.
Are they in a structured gang fighting other structured gangs?
Pretty much.
Okay.
It's slightly more nuanced than that, but not really.
None of them ride motorcycles, do they?
No, not yet.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Because that would be way too close to Tokyo Revengers.
This got a confirmed season 2, which is excellent. It deserves it. This was fighting with Jellyfish for my show of the season. I think it slightly loses out because of Jellyfish, but I mean, if you can watch this, if you get the chance, this is another strong recommend from me. Like, I really enjoyed a nice, simple, down-to-earth kind of story. There's no big plots. There's no world-ending threat. Like, even Lycoris was great, but there's a terrorist involved in Lycoris Recoil for most of it. Like, this is just kids beating the shit out of each other because they kind of like beating the shit out of each other. Handles good adult moments. There's really not a lot of tropiness to this. Like I said, the animation is great. I'm excited to see another season of this. I don't want to give much other away. I had a ton of fun. This was the show. Every season there's one or two shows that I wake up the day it comes out and try to find a chance at work to watch it. Or if I'm working from home, I watch it in the morning or I watch it as soon as possible. And that was Windbreaker. I watched Windbreaker as soon as possible every single week it came out.
Damn. Well, I only have 3 episodes left of Tokyo Revengers, so I'll probably pick it up for my lunch show after.
Yay. Freeman, you have the rest. I think I'm actually done.
All right, cool. I can blitz the next couple. So, dragging my feet on finishes up from last season. I finally finished Shangri-La Frontier, and as I memed to Tim 3 minutes after it ended, this was the most non-ending of a show I've ever seen. Like, they introduce a character, they just drop this like plot hook, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, come back for season 2." And I was like, where was the ending? Like, what happened? Like, they just gave us a comeback next week, except the next week is in 6 months.
And it's another 24 episodes, though, so it's pretty great.
Which is great, because this show is, I'll if I didn't describe it last time, it's dude plays a VR MMO, but he's just an absolute, this dude's a legend. Like, this is, everyone who watches Sword Art and wants to see Kirito be a pro gamer, this is the same vibe, but, like, without the whole die in the game, die in real life, collecting harems. Like, this is very much just a gamer plays a video game show. So if you, like, it's the best way I can describe it. And it scratched that itch of just the whole MMO, like, sucked into an MMO at, like, not sucked in like trap, like sucked in like you are inside of this MMO, like Beaufry kind of. And I think this is the one that's done it the best so far. Like, like if you like Sword Art, go watch this.
Still agree. Can't wait for season 2.
Moving right along, finished watching Delicious in Dungeon with Val. Was it 2 days ago now?
Yep.
I very much enjoyed this show. As Tim is aware, the first half of it struggled to find its footing and kind of repeated the same plot week after week about just like
me.
just like we found some food, we're gonna cook in the dungeon. Oh no way, the mushrooms are edible. Like, it did it for 8 or 9 episodes straight. And then around episode 10, they're like, okay, let's get back to the plot line that we told people we're gonna do. And then ever since then, it stopped doing the food nonsense. And like they're still cooking in every episode, but the food is not the main point of the episode. Like, they are on this explicit dungeon adventure where the stakes are increasing every episode, characters are getting introduced who are actually interesting. And the thing that binds them all is that at some point you gotta eat. So the food will always end up coming up, and it's fun to see how creative they get with certain concepts. There's the whole episode where someone's unsure whether they were a cannibal or they actually ate griffin flesh, but there's also changelings involved. It was a really cool concept. So I commend the show for being creative, and also not doing any of the normal anime bullshit. The most fan service we have is this fat dwarf who occasionally you see his underwear. Like, I love it. Anytime they give us like the joke fan service shots him, it's phenomenal. So I applaud the show for doing that. But I'd recommend it, and we are confirmed getting a season 2, which is very rare for Studio Trigger to do. But with the amount of material that was out for the series, they should be able to finish the series in 2 seasons. So I am super happy that it sounds like we'll get a full adaptation. But now on to the newest of the new stuff from this season. And I wanted to try watching the Brain Rot anime.
The Brain
Rot.
I'm
gonna butcher the Japanese title. Shikonokonokonokonoko Koshitantan, or My Dear Friend Koshitan. This show, like, I'm a huge fan of the show Nichijou, which is very much just these little joke bits that don't have real rhyme or reason, but they're all real funny. And from the trailers of this show, where this girl who's a deer just shows up at school and stuff starts blowing up, from the trailer, I was like, all right, this might be it. This might be the new absurd comedy show, because we haven't had a good one in a while. And the internet is blowing up about the theme song, because it's incredibly catchy. But I forced Tim and Val to watch episode 1 with me on Sunday. And I've said this before, there's nothing I hate more than comedy anime that isn't funny. Because, good lord, this show was not funny.
Tyler,
it was
for context, Tyler, Val almost refused to even try watching it, and within a quarter second was out.
Damn.
I wanted her to go in open-minded, and I was wrong for trying to request that of her for this. How do I describe what's wrong with this show?
I added this to my drop list at the end before episode 1 was over.
I
marked this as a dropped show.
I'm adhering to the 3-episode rule, but I have huge doubts that I'm going to be watching this past the 3rd episode. Unless they add other characters and change up the comedy dynamic, I think it's going to just rely on the same joke, every joke.
Like, Tyler, here's where the show lost me. The whole thing is there's a girl, the main character's a girl who used to be a delinquent and isn't anymore, and she goes to school, and she runs into a girl who has deer antlers, who's a deer girl.
And may have brain problems.
And definitely has brain problems. And she can somehow detect that this girl was a delinquent. And of course, they sit next to each other in school, and the deer girl turns to her and goes, "You were a delinquent, weren't you? And you're a virgin, too." And everybody in class, including the teacher, goes, "Oh my god, I didn't know that was wrong with her." And what? I was like,
bro, she's a first year in high school.
From the desk, I am officially out. This is too stupid for me.
I was like, that's pretty stupid.
As the guy on here who goes, Eminence and Shadow, peak, Overlord, peak, Mashal, peak, even though Freeman hates it. Like, all these shows are bangers for me. They are dumb, funny. Back when Misfit of Demon Academy was my absolute slam dunk. Like, I like dumb shows. But they have to, like Freeman said, they have to actually be funny to me. And I, laughed maybe twice at, animation jokes in this show, not the actual comedy.
Yeah.
Well,
I wasn't sitting there laughing and being like, "Why aren't you laughing at this?" Like, I was sitting there with them going like, "Oh, good lord, is this really it?"
No, guys,
is this it?
maybe this was
supposed to save comedy, and it was the opposite.
But apparently we're wrong, because it's by far the most upvoted thing.
Konosuba is saving comedy. I don't know.
It really is.
Also, this show is in big hot water because people suspect that Crunchyroll is testing out AI subtitles with this show.
Crunchyroll came out and confirmed that they didn't. They were just very lazy.
Oh, good. So they're hype comedy of the season, which
I don't know if it's better or worse.
Seems worse.
But the icing on the cake was I was pissed about this. I was pissed that a show I was excited for was this bad. That I went home and I'm like, let me watch one of the shows that I'm pretty sure is going to be bad, so I can be surprised by how good it is. So I watched the VTuber Legend anime. I think the full title is I forgot to turn off my stream and I became a VTubing legend or something. So the short version is this VTuber girl who tries to be this very polite persona. She ends her stream but forgets to turn it off. She gets drunk and just starts making not making hateful jokes. She starts acting like a degenerate VTuber fan and watches the streams of the other people the other VTubers for her company. And it's just like absurd drunk woman watches VTubers, and she blows up overnight. While all of her VTuber friends are just like, finally, she's coming out of her shell. And this was unironically hilarious. It was so goofy. It captured the spirit of what VTuber fan like. You guys aren't gonna like this. It's very much.
Okay.
It's very much like if you watch VTubers, you're gonna get all the jokes and all the references they throw in here. On top of that, other random bits, like there's one part where she imagines herself at a press conference, but they make fun of the Ronaldo meme where he pulls up to the conference where there's Coca-Cola and he just pushes it off to the side to pull up the water. Except she pulls it up with this like one particular liquor she's obsessed with. All in all, very funny. This is a stupid show. I can already tell it's not going to be that good, but I like the jokes and I like the meta VTuber commentary, so I'm watching it. But it hurts me to say that it's better than fucking Deer anime. It hurts me to like it more after all that hype.
Upsetting.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Last one. This is one that Tim, we watched this with Val, right?
Yep, we watched the first episode together, and she doesn't want to watch anymore.
Gotcha. So we gotta figure out what we're watching. But the first 3 episodes of Suicide Squad Isekai came out, and it's still a show I never thought we'd actually see. This seems so stupid. But episode 1 was pretty well animated, and I didn't hate it. It's gonna be more of a question of can they introduce a compelling plot? So what are you giggling at?
Just the way I didn't hate it.
Well, I expected it to be dog shit. Not gonna lie.
Sure did. Sure did too. It was fine. It seems weird. It's weird to see Harley Quinn, but it's also so disconnected from every other version of these characters.
Yeah.
Like Joker actually likes Harley Quinn, which is weird.
Joker's attractive in this.
Yeah, it's just a tattoo. It's not actual disfigurement. It's just a tattoo of a grinning face on his face.
While he sits there brooding.
Amanda Waller tortures a woman to make her open an isekai portal so that they can invade for resources. It's very DC, very Suicide Squad. We'll see what happens. Freeman and I will certainly keep trying it at least. I don't know if we'll stick with it, but I'll try.
All depends on our watch schedule.
Holy shit, was that all the anime finally?
That was all the anime.
So much anime.
So much fucking anime.
Look, it was the end of a season.
Tyler,
and a start of a
you play 80-hour video games, and Freeman and I spend those 80 hours watching 80 shows.
Oh my god.
All right, so let's go back to live action. Talk about the movie that the 3 of us watched last Tuesday.
Tyler's favorite movie of all time.
It's not my favorite movie. It's only one of them. It's in my top 4 letterbox.
It's in your top 4 letterbox.
It is in my top 4 letterbox. In no particular order, actually. I have to say that every time.
Training Day.
Yeah, we watched Training Day, and this movie was very good.
I'm so glad. I'm glad you guys liked it.
I mean, Denzel stole the movie.
He's the only reason the movie works.
His dialogue was just so witty and good that
quick.
Every line I'm just like, what's he gonna say next? What's he gonna say next? Like it was fun.
Yeah, I went on a whole fucking rant after this movie was over.
You did.
I was like, this fucking movie's great. I love this movie. I watched this movie so many times. I love it.
Definitely recommend it.
Yeah, movie came out a long time ago, and like, fun fact, this is based off of a real person, not actual events. But like, Denzel's character is based off of a
Don't they talk about the guy in the...
They don't.
Oh, okay.
Actually, it's funny. In The Shield, in the last episode of the last season, they actually drop the name of the actual precinct that in LA, yeah, that it happened.
Oh, where the actual what were they called, like Flash or something came out of?
Oh no, so the team's name was Crash.
Oh, Crash, that's what it was.
Yeah, it was Crash. Actually, the first name was called Trash, and then it got a lot of bad press for that because of the name, so they named it Crash. But the precinct was in Rampart, so it was known as the Rampart Division. But none of that was brought up in the movie though. But yeah, It's like, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinion too, it's like Denzel's best role. Like, I honestly can't think of another movie that I thought he was better in.
It was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, if you like cop dramas, it's definitely up there. I think it's Antoine Fuqua. He's the guy who directed the movie.
Hmm.
I think it's his best movie. He also did Fury. You might have watched Fury, Tim.
We talk about movies and shows that linger in the back of the mind, like how talked about Ford v Ferrari last podcast. Fury is another one of those guys that like, I should just find a chance to just sit and just fucking watch Fury sometime.
Yeah, he did Fury, and another good movie he did, if you like, well, I mean, I don't know if you guys would like it, really. I thought it was pretty good. It's called End of Watch, as Jake Gyllenhaal and crap, I forgot his
That's not the
name.
ambulance one.
No, it's
That
not
was
the
Michael
ambulance
Bay,
one.
right?
Watch.
Oh, Bring Out the Dead.
No, there was the Jake Gyllenhaal where he's in an ambulance.
Oh, that movie. Oh, I forgot. No. It is not that movie.
Okay.
No, Jake Gyllenhaal plays an LAPD like patrolman with his partner, and they get into some pretty serious shit with some cartel drug members. And it's like supposed to be like found footage, sort of, where it's all through Jake Gyllenhaal's like body camera. And it's not a department issued body camera. He's like doing it for this law class he's in while he's a police officer. It's kind of interesting. But I like it. It's got actually plenty of action for like what it describes. But it's all right. I mean, yeah, but this is about Training Day. You guys just watch Training Day. We can move on from that unless you guys had any more notes about it.
No, I really liked it.
It's
It
fucking
was.
sick.
I feel like they wouldn't make a movie like this now. There's just like, how do I put it? Like the first 30 minutes are just like a meandering conversation, and it was good. But like, I don't know the last time I watched a movie that felt like this.
She got a liquor license. Excuse me. And like, honestly, like Tim, like I compared Emily Blunt's character in Sicario to Ethan Hawke.
Sure.
And I'm just like,
Can
man,
see
like, cause
that for sure.
it's literally, I would say, like, you could draw parallels. Like, I realized after watching Training Day, like, the Training Day, honestly, like, opened a lot of things, like, in cinema and just how shit works to me. Like, and I think that's why I like Sicario too. Like, I draw like very good parallels between both of those movies because they're structured very similarly. Except that like Denzel's an actual evil person.
Spoiler.
Well, yeah, spoiler, Denzel is an evil person.
Yeah, totally. The Sicario guys are above board. Nice guys.
Yeah, not like they're fucking gems either, but like Denzel is an actual piece of shit. Like, yo, that dude was your friend. I don't know if you ever saw that that Robot Chicken sketch, but like, it's like a Godzilla one, Tim. And I forgot who the other monster is, but like Godzilla fucking blows like another monster out of his Nikes, and someone's like, "Dude, that's your friend. He was your friend." Like, no, he wasn't.
I don't know. I don't remember this one. Shit,
Oh
now
God,
you're gonna
I
make
should
me chicken.
find it.
You're gonna make me look for it on my phone so I don't mess up the recording.
Yeah, exactly. But that's it. Um, did you guys watch any other movies? I didn't see anything on Letterboxd, Tim.
Oh, I watched
Did
2
you?
movies. I don't know if I put the second one on here.
I didn't have any movies.
It's a short story. So I went over to my friend's house to go do like they were doing Legos. I was doing Gundams.
Oh my
For the
God, I
fun.
fucking see it
Yeah, you
now.
saw,
God
right?
damn it, bro.
So
Yeah.
I'm building. She's like, I'm gonna put something on. You guys have to watch. I'm like, whatever, fine. I'm not gonna pay attention. I'm building this Gundam. So she puts on Twilight. So technically, I watched it. This movie's shit. It's an amazing comedy, but it's not supposed to be funny. So it is what it is. I'm not happy about that. But the second movie I watched has a much funnier story around it. So I was hanging out with my buddy who every time I talk to him, he's talking about this Plex server he's setting up. Every time I go to his house, there's absolute random shit playing on his TV. I'm like, what is going on? He's like, I just put my server on shuffle. So I went over on Saturday and I was hanging out with my other friend who helped contribute to this collection. And I was like, so how's it coming out? They're like, honestly, it's okay, but like a lot of stuff he pirated isn't great quality. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I pirated all of Scooby-Doo, but like I didn't realize I accidentally pirated it in Russian. I was like, what? No way. So he throws on Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase just so we can hear what the Russian voices sound like. And I'm like, this is wild. And I know that Plex lets you crowdsource subtitle files as long as it can search based on the file name. So we're able to at least find subtitles for this movie. But we throw it on in the background. We hang out a whole night, and then like for the last 10 minutes of the movie, we're like, oh, this is still on. Yeah. So we ended up watching it, and then we're just like, what's it going to shuffle to next? And it shuffled to like first it was a 5-minute like Donald Duck animated special from like the 50s, and then it jumps to some movie. And we're like, all right, how long is it going to take us to figure out what movie this is? And then we very quickly realized it is a made-for-TV Christmas movie that's predominantly aimed at black families.
So why you here?
And the only black person we were hanging out with said, I'm not watching this shit in July, turn it off. So we skipped over that.
I'm not watching this shit in July, turn it off.
So we skipped the next one and it was Rambo 3. And for context, I haven't seen Rambo 1 or 2. We watched all of Rambo 3 that night.
I was like, you don't need to, honestly, as someone who has watched all five Rambo movies, the only good one is the first one. 3 is hilarious though. I think it is fucking comedy.
That's when he's actually in Vietnam. That's the one that's.
It is.
That's the image of Rambo.
Yeah, that's the image. But I think First Blood was the best one. Personally, that's my own personal thing. 3 is hilarious because it doesn't age well. Like, do you know what 3 is about, Tim?
I don't remember.
Basically, this is about to get really spicy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's Rambo is helping out like the Afghani people, basically, which there's nothing wrong with, right? But mind you, this is the 80s, where there was a proxy war going on, and people forget, and sometimes like some people might remember, but this is during that whole time. Like you guys, like, well, you remember like people like, oh, like Osama bin Laden was like trained by us, like that kind of shit. Like this is the shit that happened in Rambo, basically. Russians were fucking up. Actually, yeah, it was like covered in a lot of different media. But like Russians were like occupying the Middle East, like Afghanistan, right? And we were like helping them out. We were training, people and giving them guns and all this other bullshit. And like this is what Rambo was about. And at the end of Rambo 3, they talk about how their people were strong fighters, how they'll go, combat anything. Basically saying how like, they're the best people around, like they're as patriotic as Americans, basically. Like it's kind of the lesson of the whole movie. Am I wrong, Freeman?
Yeah. So not gonna lie, I kind of mentally zoned out halfway through the movie just because it was very late and I wasn't super invested in the plot. But yeah, you nailed you nailed the core plot line.
Yeah, like that's like kind of the gist. And fast forward to 2001, that is not the fucking case anymore. And I remember watching it and I was like, oh no, this did not age well for us. This is not good. I like bringing this up every time Rambo 3 is brought up though. Yes, I understand that the theme is sad, but I just cannot like get past the wild fucking irony. It's crazy.
Yeah, so those are the 2 random movies I watched. I don't know if I actually put Rambo on Letterboxd. I probably should.
You didn't. You should.
I need to put Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase on here too.
Oh, what the fuck?
Because of watching it in Russian. Which,
Jesus
by the way,
Christ.
all the characters sound pretty close, including Russian Scooby.
Did they replace Scooby Snacks with like vodka or some shit?
No, they should have said Scooby Snick is how they pronounced it, which was hilarious. Because like for the first 10 minutes, I'm like, when is it going to come up? Because I want to hear them say it. And then the first time, because I think in that movie, like the Scooby Snack is how they beat each level in the video game they're trapped in, which by the way, did it before Sword Art. But yeah, the second I saw one on stream, like they're gonna say Scooby Snack, and hearing them calling it a snack was hilarious.
Scooby Snack. Oh God. Is the next are the next things mine?
Yes.
For the next movie?
The next two are yours, and then I got one thing at the end.
All right. So I watched. I don't even know how the fuck I got here, but I watched Pokemon the first movie too, aka Detective Pikachu.
When you first did, like, you watched Pokemon 2000, and then I read through the rest of your joke.
I didn't realize, like, so my friend was like, "Yo, it's a sequel to Pokemon the first movie," and I was like, "What? Fucking how?"
Sort of.
It is though. It totally is. They even showed the science center where Mewtwo was at in the first movie. Like in that opening shot.
All right. Regardless of the plotline implications, what did you think of the
Yeah.
movie?
I thought it was a serviceable movie. I actually, I'll even go as to say it was good.
Yes, I agree with that. I was gonna say it was a good movie. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad, but it was. I enjoyed it more than how I thought I was gonna enjoy a live action Pokemon movie.
I've heard that so many times, and I'm like, you know what? That's exactly what this is. And plus, it's geared toward a specific audience. Like, if 8-year-old Tyler watched this, he would have pissed himself. Like, it was cool as shit. But like, adult Tyler, who's not into Pokemon as much anymore, who gets all the references, I'm like, oh, this was cool. And that's as far as like, I'm giving it. But I did think it's funny because towards the end, and I'm going to get into some spoiler territory, because I think Tim watched this movie too. But like, have you seen Get Out, Freeman?
I haven't seen it yet. I really want to watch it though.
No, I never saw it.
Fuck. Oh, you never saw Detective Pikachu?
No.
Oh, fuck. All right. I don't know if I should say any spoilers then. Because if you want to see Get
plot
Out,
similarity to Get Out?
there is a plot similarity to
Oh
Get
my
Out.
god.
It's really fucking funny, actually. I want to talk about it so bad, but I can't. Like, the parallel is really funny. Like, it has. Yeah, no, I can't. I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it.
All right. So staying on topic of this, but what did you think of Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu? Yes or no?
It was jarring as shit,
Yes.
but I thought it was funny though. Just because it's Ryan Reynolds, and I think he's funny. But it was really jarring, and I thought it was a little out of place. Still funny, but still kind of jarring. Like, I felt very in the middle of the road. For reference, I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it was.
So,
If you go into it without any expectations and you like Pokemon, you will probably like this movie.
I'm still absolutely pissed that they couldn't get Danny DeVito as Pikachu.
Bro, if they got Danny DeVito as Pikachu, it would be equally as jarring, but you know what? I think it would work.
I'll never forget when they tweeted at him like, "Hey, would you consider voicing this?" And he tweeted back, "What the fuck is a Pikachu?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, we're never getting this."
We're not
Wow.
getting it. I think it would be so fucking funny. And I think it could have worked, but he's too old to be Justice's dad.
Yeah.
The whole time I was like, yo, what is this interracial couple shit? Like, I don't want that. I don't want that in my wholesome Pokemon.
Your whole anime.
Yeah, for context, listeners, just in case you think I'm racist, I'm the product of an interracial relationship. So
Yeah. Tyler's
I'm
the only
in
one on this
one.
podcast who can deliver this type of commentary and not cause any issue.
Exactly. I have the N-word pass. I am the N-word pass. Oh, Jesus Christ. God. Sorry, my cat just jumped on my chest 'cause he's a fucking weirdo. Oh yeah, and then I finished before the podcast today. I finished The Bear season 3, and man, it is
You good?
Oh, it's good, very good. Just stressful. Very stressful. If you like cooking and stress, yeah, this is a great show. it's a 10 out of 10. Yeah, did I talk to you guys about the bear?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm surprised. I definitely talked about it on this podcast before. But the whole premise is guy goes away to school to become a fine dining chef. He comes back after his brother committed suicide and takes over the family restaurant. That's it.
Cool.
Stress ensues. And that's all I have. It's good if you like cooking, like that chef stuff, and you like being sad and stressed out. This is the show for you.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then you watch Shogun. How's Shogun?
So I'm 2 episodes in on it. I'm watching with my 2 friends who I'm also like we watched Thrones together when we miss it on Sunday. But I like it a lot so far. Maybe it's because I'm a weeb and I appreciate like the old Japanese culture nonsense. But in terms of how they're building up this like political drama, it's very good. They how do I put this? There's too much name dropping and not enough character showing. Like they'll be constantly talking about a character, but he won't show up for like 3/4 of an episode. And I think with the way the show's going, like it's not they didn't leave a lot of room to introduce a shit ton of characters. So as the first season goes on, you probably get to know everyone pretty well and what their deal is. But right now it's a very much a wait, who's he talking about kind of situation. But overall, I really like it. It's like Game of Thrones in Japan, but there's no dragons and no one has had sex yet.
That sounds pretty fucking lame to me.
I don't know. It's Japanese. It's
Sounds
interesting.
pretty fucking lame to me. No, I heard good things about it. So
Yeah,
like,
same.
Yeah.
you
Also
know.
like the costuming and like the hair design, because everyone's got like the cool. I don't know if I call them cool, like the shaved head top knot look. There's a big plot line about like the Catholics who are there, and everything looks like in terms of like the sets and like character outfits, they all look really good. So there's nothing that takes me out of it at all.
They have
And
the one Japanese guy who is the Japanese guy and everything
The
now.
Japanese guy and everything.
Who's
yeah.
not Ken Watanabe.
I swear, there's a guy in this show who just looks like a younger Ken Watanabe. And I keep thinking it's him in every shot he's in. I'm like, wait, no, Ken is a lot older than that.
Yeah. Speaking of which, he was in Detective Pikachu. I was like, oh hey, look.
Oh, hey, look.
Forgot about that. All right. But that's everything we've watched.
Wow, it only took an hour and 15 minutes to go through the watched and played compared to the rest of the podcast.
All right.
55
So we're
minutes.
gonna take a 15-minute break and then we're gonna start the topic of the episode, which is Final Fantasy VII Part 1 versus Final Fantasy VII Part 2.
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, so we'll be back in 15 minutes, and that's code for 2 weeks. So
Yep.
until next time, we'll have a lot less watched and played because it's not the end of an anime season. But until then, my name is Timpedia.
I'm Friedman.
Ken Watanabe.
We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.